Hello, and welcome to another episode of Remove Film from Tray, your favorite movie podcast. Hello, Count. Hello, Slushie.
Hello.
Hello, Mortis. Hello, Slushie.
Hello.
We're here today. We watched a bunch of movies again.
We're making a habit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Any standouts?
As far as movies that we watch?
Yeah. What was your favorite?
Fuck.
Probably Littlest Reich.
Return of the Living Dead.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, yeah. Return of the Living Dead is the correct answer.
So
It's like a perfect movie.
we have an update on Puppet Master from 2 weeks ago. Puppet Master 10. It's 10, right? Or is it 11? 10. Axis Rising? I'm so confused about those.
Puppet Master
Axis
X.
Rising is 10.
X. Okay, if you recall Sarge, the guy that had the very tiny face, he's advertising High Noon Hard Seltzer now.
Brad Potts.
in real time, it's happening. He's still out there doing it.
Some people may have been getting these ads on Twitch. They may have gotten one of these ads on Twitch before joining this stream to watch the podcast live.
Are these on Twitch? Really?
I saw them
I
on
would assume
Hulu,
that's
but
where-
they could be on Twitch.
Wow.
Oh, maybe.
I've been seeing this. I never saw this product in my life or heard of it, and then 2 weeks ago when I was house sitting or whatever, this popped up on Hulu, these ads, and now I'm seeing it everywhere. High Noon. I don't know if this is a Mandela effect and the
That's
timelines
called recency
converged
bias, brother.
or what happened, but I am losing my mind.
He's playing like kind of a kindly hard seltzer grandpa in these commercials, like just kind of imparting this perfect hard seltzer to millennials and zoomers who need it
Yeah, vodka for the youth.
in their time of celebration.
Are Zoomers old enough to drink now?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, probably some of the,
Zoomers are like
Some of the early
1996 onward.
but that's your Puppet Master update. That's your Sarge update.
That's Brad Potts.
Yeah.
Brad Potts, if you're ever listening for some reason and you want to talk to us, feel free to. I'd love to have you on the show or have a conversation with you and record it and then play it for the show.
We love you, Sarge. You're the best character to come out of
You carry
Puppet
that
Master
movie,
in
sir.
a long time.
Yeah.
Since Neil Gallagher, I don't know, maybe not.
What we could do is, Sarge, he got killed at the end of that movie, right?
Right?
Well, what we
Are
could
you
say
waiting
is
for
that
him to answer?
No, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
if
he
did.
does get killed. Yeah.
Okay, well, we could say that like they tried to save him by freezing him into ice, and then they thaw him to the future, and that's how he's in Puppet Master 17, like Captain America.
Save it for later. Another Puppet Master update. The game has received a major update. We played some games on it. I thought it was really good.
I had a great
Big new
time.
fucked up mechanic.
Fucked up?
I don't know. I'm just
What's
being-
fucked up? Decapitron?
I'm just being slushy. Yeah, I think Decapitron's maybe a little strong, but who knows?
You say that, and then I got to play Decapitron once, and Mortis immediately killed me. So I'll never know.
Well, yeah. So,
I mean, you gotta not be dog shit at the game.
oh my god, what the hell? So,
Well, I've yet to win a human mode, so maybe you're right, Slushy. But I'm not a gamer, okay?
That's
so
clear.
here's the big thing of the update: is there's always been a timer for the humans' objectives to get highlighted, but now that's connected with Decapitron appearing, becoming available to the puppets, and Decapitron is insanely strong.
Mhm.
But he is also killable, and he's also pretty slow. So I've got to play him twice, and neither time was I able to get to the fight before the round ended. Slushie was able to lock down a dead end hallway and kill me one time with Decapitron. I don't know. I think he's a mixed bag. I think it's like I think it's interesting.
I need to play more with him,
adds
do
some
more rounds
interest.
while they're playing as him. What do we think of the new human?
I think Martha is really good. She's strong. She's not incredibly slow, which I totally expected her to be.
I think they've buffed her
she's
speed
got decent health.
since the update came out, even.
Yeah, she got a slight speed boost. It's like 0.1.
There's been a lot of little extra updates. So
yeah.
Little patches.
I like the new weapons.
I think
I don't
Martha's like strongest suit is that she starts with one of the new weapons, which is the frying pan. With the frying pan, the right click will ragdoll a puppet. Even Pinhead. Pinhead normally unragdollable, but he is with the new weapon, which is pretty good.
They added a shotgun too, right?
Yeah, they added the shotgun, which
I didn't use it.
all of us have found. I think
I never
out
found
of all
it.
of us playing, we found it one time period, and it was when I found it, and it was like okay.
Yeah. Also sort of a crowd control type weapon.
Yeah, it also ragdolls, but it does low damage.
You think you could ragdoll multiple puppets with one shot?
That'd be cool.
I would assume so, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it has any sort of spread on it. Maybe it's shooting slugs. Who can say?
Check it out. It's a free game.
Oh, we got a new map too.
Oh yeah, there's new DLC. Yeah, new map from Puppet Master 4 and 5, sort of. Rick's Lab. The new DLC is
Life Force Rick.
Themed after Curse of the Puppet Master, weirdly. It does have Gumhead Pinhead as a skin, which is great. That's like the big draw.
And it also has Tank as Decapitron, which is cool.
Yeah. Do you think he has different... do you think he has no lines? Do you think they just removed the speech?
I'd be curious to find out.
He doesn't talk when he becomes the puppet in the movie, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it immediately ends.
That's true.
Yeah. And then also, we forgot to mention the other new weapon, which is the fire extinguisher.
Oh, right, yeah.
That failed to save my life in one situation, so I don't know how I feel about it.
It has since we played, it's been buffed a little bit. It's got slightly more range. I think slightly more slowdown time.
Yeah.
And then also there were some bugs with it that
it was slowing you way down when you had it out, which I did notice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't do that anymore.
Just another what were you gonna say, Count?
We had an idea for the devs. I think it was Slushie's idea to add Dollman on the human side.
Right.
So get on that, devs.
How would he get? What if there was a page up on a table? Would he also? I guess he'd have to
have a high jump or something.
Yeah, he could just jump like a.
But he doesn't. He doesn't do that.
Well, some liberties will be taken.
If they had made a Dollman versus Puppet Master, which I don't think they have, he would have.
Only in comic form.
Probably. Have you seen Dollman versus Demonic Toys?
I have, yes.
I have
he
not.
Doesn't jump in there.
I don't recall him. I mean, there's a point where he's up on a counter, but they don't really explain how he got up there. I don't know.
Well, items spawn on the ground, right? In the game. So, I don't know. There's probably some... I'm not a game dev person, but there might be a way to just set it for a certain character to have them spawn on ground, maybe.
I'm sure you could do that, yes.
It is most likely way harder than anyone could ever imagine.
Probably.
Just like adding controller support, which the game does have.
Possible.
Oh yeah, we also played Horror Legends, the dev's previous game. Right. I got the Sardu, is that his name? Sabu? Zabu? What's his name?
The vampire guy?
The subspecies guy.
It's not Sabu.
No, it's not Sabu. I got the subspecies DLC and the game, so played a couple. Radu, I was close. We played a couple rounds of that. I don't. You can see improvement in the developer skill.
Very
Puppet
diplomatic
Master
way to
is
put
a
it.
superior game. Very good game, Puppet Master.
It's kind of interesting. It's a little more like a deathmatch type thing, but I don't know. It's out there. It exists. There's full moon DLC in it.
I felt very weak as the villain in.
I felt very weak as the human.
Well, okay. Just
Well,
a weak.
here's the
That's
thing.
good balance, is what that
I guess
says.
that is. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Slush?
No, I was just gonna be mean to Count again.
Oh, so getting on to what we've watched.
Love you, Count. I'm sorry.
Me, me and Slushy watched Kamen Rider Black Sun, the Amazon Prime exclusive tokusatsu revival, and Count watched this in the past.
Yeah, I watched this when this was first released. I loved it. I'm willing to talk about it. Hopefully, I don't know if you two plan on talking about it in chronological order. All my memories of it are from all without the episode. So
yeah, I don't really have specific order in mind, but I thought this was really good.
Yeah,
as
fantastic.
Someone who likes old Kamen Rider and the original series Black, I think is great. So what this show had was social justice, which I felt was a little hackneyed and kind of like
it was a little strange.
Yeah, it's very heavy-fisted.
There is a point where so the thing from like episode 1 is that it's basically drawing a straight line from the Kaijins, which are the Kamen Rider Black people with animal heads. It's drawing a straight equation from them to like black people, gay people, immigrants. Like it is so on the nose. It's so ridiculously on the nose.
Yeah,
it's so on the nose that there is a part where there are a bunch of humans in cages secretly, and the villain is like, yeah, it's immigrants and people LGBTQ who can't have babies, so they're useless.
Right.
It's really fucking weird.
There's a point where a cop puts his knee on the back of a Kaijin's neck as he's restraining him. It's like, oh my!
And the Kaijin yells, "I can't breathe."
Like, do we really? We get it. Like, do you really need to be that on the nose? Like,
yeah, that was the stuff that when you two were watching it, I was like, that's the stuff that's like a little much.
We get it. We get it without that explicit of connection.
Right.
But here's the other thing the show has. It has fucking motorcycles, which a lot of recent Kamen Riders don't. It has pathos of the heroes not being humans, which a lot of recent Kamen Riders don't, but a lot of the old ones do. Just sort of like a, I don't know, Frankenstein type, very powerful, but don't fit in with society, kind of like, emotional
the outcast
thing.
monster.
The outcast monster. The actual character of Minami Kotaro, I had to look at the image. Kamen Rider Black himself, like Count, you said he was like a Mad Max type figure, which is kind of true.
Right, yeah.
Like he is not the focus of the show, which I kind of wanted to like. I wanted to know more about him. I wanted to spend more time with him. It's mostly about sort of a little girl who encounters him and has her adventure in this world.
And she's fantastic.
She's
oh yeah,
I really like her.
She is fantastic. She's good for 90% of the show, but like she does 2 big speeches in English, which are a little rough. And neither of them are subtitled. Yeah, because like she's just kind of reading them phonetically, and it's a little difficult to follow, and like it just goes on and on. But other than that, she's very good.
I think we haven't really mentioned that Kamen Rider Black himself is kind of like a grumpy 60-year-old man, which is very out of character for a Kamen Rider to be. I really like
It
that.
is. It's like a new thing, a new place for them to go. That I liked him. I thought he's, and there's
And that actor's really that old, and he looks great.
It was good. The special effects were good for the most part. A lot of the like fight choreography was really good. Like kind of like new school while also being very reminiscent of old Kamen Rider, I thought.
I thought the monster suits were really good and varied.
Yeah, the monster suits were good. The Century King was really good. Like,
he was cool as hell.
On the special effects thing. Like, there's a big beast, a big bloated beast, and you would just expect him to be CG, but it's a big practical puppet, and like it moves and shit, and interacts, and like even fights a little, and it like there's a lot of gore.
There's a lot of gore.
I explained this to Slushie. Nobody knows what this means but me. But like, I thought the like design of this show owed a lot to the SIC, Super Imaginative Chogokin, which was like a series of toys in the late 90s that were like, they kind of like McFarlane. You know those?
I do.
They kind of like McFarlane up like classic Toku shit, and
they give them that edge.
And there's a lot of like art books with additional like dioramas and models and shit of these toys, and like I really felt like that inspired kind of the look of this show.
I remember years ago I kept debating to order like an SIC Hakaider or Kikaida or both of them off eBay, and like I just could never pull the trigger on getting one.
I feel like
they
those
look so frail.
Yeah, they probably were, but I feel like those, along with like the Puppet Master toys, were kind of like warmed a lot of American comic book shelves, book store shelves for a lot of years before, when people were like, "What the fuck is this? Like, why do they want $30 for this thing I've never heard of?"
Have either of you ever seen the Hakaider movie?
I never have.
That came out in the 90s.
I don't even know what that is.
Hakaider's the bad one, right?
Good.
The anti-hero guy. Hakaider's like the anti-hero guy, right?
Yes, he is. And they made him his own solo movie, and it's so fucking good. We'll have to watch it.
Okay, cool. It's your guy, right? Your director that you like.
It's the director that I like, yeah.
Another thing about this show, another theme of this show, like there's a lot of flashbacks to...
Who I think did the original Kamen Rider Black. I just want to sneak that.
Okay, yes. Feel free to look up that guy's name because I forgot. But there's a lot of flashbacks to like 1972 or something. It's 72, 74 or something. Like the early days of the Kaijin social movement. And that's really... I don't know. I think a big theme of this show is that, like, boomers who were hippies and fucked up need to, like, step aside and let young Japanese girls run things for a change, I think that was
changing of the guard.
Yeah, a changing of the guard. Old ideas not working. I don't know. It's a good show. I recommend the show if you like this kind of thing at all.
Slushie, what did you think about it?
I thought it fucking kicked ass, dude. It was incredibly fun to watch. Like, yes, it had the certain things that were a little ham-fisted or very ham-fisted with regards to like current social issues. But the characters were all incredibly well written. The acting was all very good. All the effects were awesome. There were a couple of times in various fights where I was like, what would be cool is if he did this. And then 1 second later, they did it. It was like, it was so good.
I think I binged it in about 3 days, and the episodes are fairly long too.
Yeah, it's like
they're like 40, 50 minutes.
Yeah. Well, for a Kamen Rider show, I mean, it's long.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But it's much shorter overall than a normal Kamen Rider show.
That is true, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that because I
Yeah.
could finish it. I feel like all these modern Kamen Riders, I probably watched the first 10 episodes and like I'm just done.
Oh, it's funny because like we finished Sun, and then the next day, Mortis and I started the original Kamen Rider Black.
Well, Black is an
And-
amazing show.
Well, yeah, it is, but like the episodes are half an hour or whatever, and there's 53 of them.
Right.
Yeah, like I've seen all of Black, I've seen all of V3, and they're both like 50 to 70 episodes or something. So it's a big investment, but good show.
Watch
Good
it
show.
on Amazon, right?
It's on Amazon Prime, and if your my subtitles were fucked up, and I was real mad, and I guess what you have to do is turn off ad block, and then the subtitles will work. So, I don't know. They were like 2 whole
like 10
minutes
seconds
ahead.
ahead.
They were
Yeah.
they were way off. Good shit, Amazon. Thanks for being the biggest company in the world. Anyway, in memory of Julian Sands, we watched Warlock 2, The Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
I like this movie.
This movie kicked ass.
What did you think, Slushie?
It was good. I liked the first one a lot more, mainly because like I liked Jonathan Redcorn or whatever his name was.
Red Fern, I mean?
Red Fern, yeah. I think Jonathan Redcorn is the fucking
Oh,
King of the Hill character.
Yeah.
But I liked him a lot, and like I liked the premise of it a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, in this movie, it's like the heroes are sitting in one place while the Warlock travels across the country collecting MacGuffins to get to the heroes and
Yeah.
doing horrific fucking body horror kills to everyone except one guy who he just leaves inside of a mirror.
Well, he's gonna get worse.
Yeah, for sure. But like horrific body horror shit. A lot of insane, weird, fucked up gore. The effects were all pretty good, at least.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't like the heroes at all. I thought they were really boring, except for the 3 old men who were fun.
Yeah.
And I thought the pacing was a little weird, mainly because like it was a training montage. It was like an hour-long training montage interspersed with the Warlock doing heinous crimes to people.
Right. Yeah, it's a weird structure. Like the first movie is like a race and a chase, sort of.
Yeah.
And this movie is just like setting up defenses, but then none of the defenses worked anyway. It's just
Right.
it's
I don't know. I like the pacing. I thought it worked well, and there's shit happening nonstop. There's never a boring scene. It's just like go, 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 go this entire movie.
Yeah, I agree that like that was definitely that's definitely how it was paced, but I think there's a way to do that wrong. And I think maybe Warlock 2 could have used a slow moment here or there.
Just a random thought. I thought it was interesting. Like the first time you see the town that the good guys are living in and waiting in, it's like this weird, almost like Wild West Main Street thing. Right. Like it gives this complete Wild West vibe, and then like that pays off at the end in a really cool way. I just thought that was like a weird little tourist town or something. It's hard to. I would be interested to know where they shot that stuff, but
also, Crispin Glover's dad is in this, so for all of you Crispin Glover fans out there, he's in it.
his dad, yeah.
His dad
who looks just like him.
He looks exactly like him.
Yeah, like this is kind of like the Evil Dead 2 to Warlock's Evil Dead 1.
It sure is.
It is very Raimi-esque. There's a lot of Raimi-esque sequences. It's like wilder and funnier than Warlock 1.
There's like multiple times where a character flies backwards and then the camera is like on their chest while they're flying backwards and screaming,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny.
It's
interesting that you say it's like the Evil Dead 2 of Warlock, because I also liked Evil Dead 1 a lot more than 2.
It's like the Phantasm 2 of Warlock.
Well, I love Evil Dead 2. I'm liking these Evil Dead 2 versions of movies.
Yeah.
I do like Evil Dead 2. I want to be clear. I love it.
Sure,
Okay,
Slushie, sure.
Do you like Phantasm 1 more than Phantasm 2?
No.
Okay.
Phantasm 2 is way cooler.
Yeah, Phantasm 2 is where it's at.
And then, like, Warlock 3 is a huge piece of shit, like Phantasm 3 and Army of Darkness. that's a
Army of
joke.
Darkness is good.
I'm doing a bit.
I know.
Warlock 3 is a huge piece of shit, though.
Well, I haven't seen it. It doesn't even have Julian in it, right?
Right, it's just some guy.
Whatever.
But I think a weakness of Warlock 2 is, like, compared to 1, is like Redfern and Warlock doing magic against each other. In this movie, it's basically like a kid with Jedi powers. But
yeah,
there is one really good scene of like the old druids doing magic on the Warlock, and they don't even know it's working. he's like stabbing a leaf with the blood of a mandrake, and it's making black blood spray out of every orifice of Julian Sands.
It's fucking cool.
It's a really good scene. But yeah, it's cool. A lot of great scenes. A lot of interesting shots.
There's a scene where the our heroes are making out, and he just pulls up her dress, and you see her cheek for some reason.
Yes.
I'm pointing that out not to be a complete dog, but that just seems like such a weird thing to include in a movie. Like, was that in the script? And then like you pull them and you see her fucking ass. Like, it just seems weird to me. It's like, what happened there?
Yeah, he just got a little carried away while they were filming it.
I guess it's not something you usually see in a movie.
Good movie, recommended. Where's
do you recommend it, Warlock 2?
Say that again?
Do you recommend Warlock 2?
Yeah, it was fun. Just watch Warlock 1 instead. If you haven't seen either of them.
Just watch them both.
Watch them both.
They're both on Tubi.
Both on Tubi, both good. Check out Boxing Helena as well.
The versions on Tubi are better than the versions I downloaded for some reason. I don't know what crap I ended up downloading. Anyway. We know that Count loves to watch movies at the appropriate time. Only watch Gremlins at Christmas. What else? What else is there?
Is that how long it's going to be before I see Gremlins?
Yeah, Count. We'll only watch Gremlins at Christmas.
It'll be blink your eyes twice. It'll be Christmas.
Christmas in July.
No, we're going to save it for Christmas.
But anyway, we watched Return of the Living Dead on July 3rd because I never knew this. It takes place on July 3rd.
Yep, and into 4th of July. It's about the 4th of July weekend.
I never. It's kind of a fun little thing that I never really realized.
It pops up at the beginning of the movie, and then the two old guys are talking about the 4th of July barbecue, and then no one else brings it up ever again.
So I've seen this, like, I don't know. This is probably my 5th time seeing this. I never saw this until like 2006 or something, probably. When did you first see this, Count?
I first saw this before any of the Romero movies, before any Evil Dead. I want to say I saw this in like 99 or 2000. To give background about myself, I had my parents built a house, and before that we were living with my grandparents, and then we moved into our new house, and then I would go and spend like summers with my grandparents. It was after we moved into my house, so this had to be like 99 or 2000. So I was probably like 8 or 9, and so a little young. But my sisters, who are older than me, would put on horror movies like this, and grandmother never gave a shit. So I think I saw it at like 8 or 9 years old in '99 or 2000, and I loved it. I loved it then. I love it now. Yeah, it's one of the rare movies I watched as a child I still like adore now.
Yeah.
Count hates Scooby-Doo now, just to be clear.
I don't hate Scooby-Doo now. I'm not the target audience. I can't watch a Scooby-Doo. I can't watch most Scooby-Doo now. Okay.
Threatened by Scooby-Doo, the other talking dog in popular media.
Right. Yeah.
It took me a second to realize what you were saying. Anyway, I think Return of the Living Dead is as close to a perfect movie as can exist.
I agree with you.
It's not like my favorite movie, but it's really good, and like I think everything it sets out to do, it does very well. Like the acting and the dialogue and the snappiness between the characters is like really great, and the comedy is really great, and the zombie stuff is really great.
Now, do you know the background of how they made this?
I have no idea.
Would you like to know?
Well, sure.
Okay.
This is a movie podcast.
Before they ever started filming, they practiced in a house for like 3 or 4 weeks, just the script beat by beat. So they were just like doing it like a stage play before they ever even rolled day one, which is very rare for a movie to do. So that's why it's so snappy.
It kind of is like stage play, like I kind of see that.
A little bit.
Because it's a fairly cheaply made movie, but they use the budget well.
Well, I know where all of the fucking budget went, and it shows.
You're talking about
the Tar Man. Watching it, right, Slushie?
The Tar Man is the best thing I have seen in a movie ever. It looks so fucking cool.
Tar Man's cool.
Number one movie zombie, maybe?
Well, I think that goes without saying. Yeah. Number one movie monster, probably.
Wow.
That's a high praise for Tar Man.
Looks so fucking good.
He does look very good.
I think he was a mix of a puppet and a man.
Yeah, I think in some scenes I remember hearing about that. I think some scenes it's a guy. He looks great. Sort of a goo-covered zombie. So, I had never, like, in the previous times I had seen this, I had not seen all of Night of the Living Dead. But now having seen it, I kind of like, you can see there is kind of like a structural connection, how they, hole up in the house and board up the windows, and
yeah, it's like a pseudo
gradually sort of falls apart. Yeah, if you haven't seen this, the premise of the movie is that Night of the Living Dead was basically a documentary.
Right.
And the events occur again. But
because the producer of Night of the Living Dead, I'm not talking about George Romero, I'm talking about the other guy, his name escapes me. He wrote a treatment for Return of the Living Dead because he had the rights to Living Dead. Oh. And Romero only had the rights to Dead. That's why it's Dawn of the Dead, not Dawn of the Living Dead or Day of the Living Dead.
True?
This is true.
Up. Jesus.
So he had the rights to the words Living Dead, and he wrote a treatment for a movie called Return of the Living Dead, and it is one of the worst things ever written. And someone bought the script just for the name.
Wow.
And then they wrote this movie.
That's cool.
So, Count, I have a question.
Yeah.
There's 2 sequels to this?
There are, yes.
I have
actually there's 4.
Okay. There's 4 sequels? So
yes,
it goes up to 5?
4 sequels. Yes. The later 2 are a complete dog shit.
Well, okay. I cannot call to mind the box or poster for 2, but I have seen the box for 3 every time I have been to a video store ever. Which it has this like hot woman. Babe with syringe fingers, and like
she starts like to get rid of the pain of being dead. She starts putting like glass and stuff in her, cutting herself.
Oh well, so what's 2? Like, where's 2? How come I've
2
never seen 2?
2 is bad,
Okay.
but it's not as bad as like 4 and 5
Yeah.
because those are Sci-Fi Channel movies and they're like horrendously
Oh,
bad.
jeez. Is 2 and 3 like any same talent from this?
Yeah, let me look at the names.
Is suicide in it?
Well, unless he's a zombie, I would imagine
That's what
not.
says on it. They brought back Frank and Freddy. You know, the 2 guys that become zombies
Right, yeah.
from the gas. They bring them back as humans, right? And then they
Oh.
die again because it's like a sequel, but like it doesn't fucking matter.
Interesting.
Uh, but there's like 2 or 3 good scenes in the second movie. Mostly the effects aren't as good, and it's about like a little kid, this little boy, and he gets bullied, and the bully turns into a zombie. But the scene with Freddy and Frank, there's a scene where they're in the back of a car, and there's like chaos going on around them. They're like, "Isn't this very familiar?" And it's like an early example of meta humor, and it's really, really fucking funny. Like that one scene. And then there's another scene later in the movie where they raid a hospital and like they blow apart a zombie with a shotgun. And it's pretty good. But other than that, it's not really great.
I guess we should also note we're all 3 big fans of Blood. This is where the zombies from Blood came from. Who'd say
Sure is.
brains, more brains.
Yeah, this is the movie that started the whole brains thing, which is so wild. Night of the Living Dead was 1968, and this was like 85 or 84, and everyone attributes zombies always saying brains, and it was like this movie that put that in the zeitgeist of Americana.
Thank you, Return of the
That's
Living
interesting.
Dead. Yeah, one more thing I want to say, Frank is great. Like all of Frank's dialogue and like all of his screaming and yelling and cavorting. He's such a great character every time he's on camera.
It's just a bunch of grown men screaming, which is also kind of rare for a horror movie.
Yeah.
They're usually like the tough guys and like they're just panicked and freaking out.
Yeah. Great film.
Highly, highly recommend it if you've never seen it.
What's next? Moving into the stuff I didn't really see. Count showed Captain America from 1990 starring J.D. Salinger's son on July 4th for the Independence Day.
4th of July.
What'd you think of this, Count? You've seen this before.
This is my second time seeing this movie. I liked it more this time than the last time I saw it. The first time I watched it was before the MCU really took off, so it was probably 2010. It's possible I saw it in 2011, but it was definitely before the first Avenger came out because we were watching, my college buddies and I, all these old Marvel movies that we wanted to check out before the new ones came out. To, like, you know, compare and contrast. And seeing it back then, I was like, this is a cheesy, shitty movie. Rewatching it now, it's like this movie has a lot of heart in it. The effects are still good, and it's a lot better than the modern Marvel just garbage being churned out. It's like, wow, this is actually like a real fucking movie. It's got a lot of known actors, and the action's kind of fun. Yeah, I think Captain America himself, like the actor's the weakest part. He kind of looks kind of like a doofus, but you know, I like this movie.
Yeah, I was. I spent most of this screening, me and Slushie, like investigating advertisement opportunities in the world of Second Life. So if you're coming to this from a Second Life billboard, in the future, welcome.
It worked.
We see you. You're valid.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I thought the Red Skull, like, in the past looked kind of crappy, but then in the future he like had makeup on or something. I wasn't sure.
He was like disguising himself.
Yeah. I really have nothing to say about this.
There was a lot going on with the subtitles, and I was curious about it, and I didn't look into it, but the subtitles would be completely different English, and they'd have like swearing, which makes me wonder if there's like a separate audio track, or if like that was an English translation for an Italian version or something.
Yeah, they were just like inserting, like in the movie it said like get in the car, and in the subtitles it said like get in the car shithead or something. You know, just like really weird non sequiturs.
Called Red Skull a sick fuck. Like really weird things. Make me wonder, like, what is this about?
Maybe that should have been in the movie.
It would be great, Captain America calling him a sick fuck.
I think you were discussing a lot of the like MCU Captain stuff while watching this, right?
I kept saying this is better than the Civil War movie.
I've only seen Winter Soldier.
I like that one. That's the best one.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. That's maybe the best MCU movie. I don't know.
Possibly.
I think a lot of people believe.
I
think that a lot of people hold that belief.
It's a really solid action movie.
Yeah, like it's just fine. You know, it's not bad like a lot of them. But I haven't seen a lot of those movies anyway.
So this is not better than Winter Soldier, but it's better than Civil War. The first Avenger, a lot of people like, but to me, it's just a remake of The Rocketeer, which has the same director. It just felt like, for me, when I saw the first Avenger, I was disappointed because it's like beat by beat The Rocketeer, and I just wanted something a little bit different. And so that I just kind of pulled that at a lower status. But if you've never seen The Rocketeer, or if you don't give a shit that he made the same movie twice, then whatever.
Is there even like a evil actor?
I think Avenger? So. It just seems like such like the same movie. It doesn't help that I watched The Rocketeer like right before seeing the first Avenger again, because we were like, oh well, let's watch The Rocketeer because he's making another World War II movie, and like he just made the same movie. Did it again.
Cap, you know, maybe not the most interesting Marvel character. He can be interesting. I don't know.
I like him sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Remember when he said Hail Hydra and everybody lost their shit for a year?
Oh, whatever.
Older comic fans will remember when he said, "Do you think this letter on my head stands for France?" And everybody lost their shit for 2 decades.
Yeah, that was the Ultimate Universe, though.
Yeah. Ultimate's fucking sucks.
Oh, they're bringing it back.
Why?
Coming back. But they're bringing it back.
Why?
I mean, the Ultimate series of Marvel Comics sold really well.
Yeah, I mean, they must have.
They really did.
All my friends never fucking shut up about them. But
that was my first Spider-Man comic. Was Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, you got to jump in somewhere. Reboot the universe.
I remember getting Ultimate Comics back in the day. They were edgy. They were wild. But then I started getting 616 ones.
Do you remember the thing where Hulk was like, he wanted, was it Betty whatever, and she was like dating Freddie Prinze Jr. or something, and like there was this whole thing where like whenever Bruce Banner turned into Hulk, he was like struggling with gay feelings for Freddie Prinze Jr. Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I know they would have like real.
It's like Hulk not attracted to Freddie Prinze Jr. Hulk not gay.
I really want to see a panel saying Hulk not gay.
I'm pretty sure that exists.
Hulk not gay.
I'm not sure. Weird.
I remember
comics.
The Blob ate the Wasp, I think, or was it the Hulk ate the Wasp? Someone bit off the Wasp's head.
That might have just been Giant Man, because he also sprayed her with pesticide at one point.
I know one of them killed her by biting off her head and chewing it.
Yeah.
I've posted the page.
You found
it's better than Hulk not gay.
Let's bring it up here. Hulk straight. What the fuck? What are they?
Apparently Captain America was trying to like keep him angry or whatever.
Right. Okay. Captain America's asshole in Ultimate. Weird.
Oh no, Hulk not
so mean.
Hulk straight.
the well-regarded Captain America arc, like in the normal universe, that is what the Winter Soldier is based on. There's a point in that where Captain America makes a point to like say how brave the French are, and like how they
I believe so.
Yeah, because it was like after Ultimate, and it was like that author like getting back at the Ultimates thing. That was
like when I was first getting in the comics too, and I'd have them mailed to my house, and it was the Winter Soldier stuff, and I fucking loved it.
yeah, it's a good arc.
That's why I guess that's why I like the movie. I mean, the movie's just fucking good on its own too. Slushie, ever read when Captain America becomes a werewolf?
No.
It's fucking wild.
What?
I think
Is it good?
It's like a 3-issue thing. It's kind of fun.
Interesting.
I think that like people getting upset about comic movies and shit, like it's almost as if they don't realize all this stuff is just taken from like 10 to 20-year-old comics.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the whole She-Hulk fucking, that whole thing. It's like, this is just stuff that this has been in the zeitgeist. Like, we have this stuff already. You just didn't read it.
Right. They get so upset and they don't even know. They don't fucking. The people
Well,
that
that's
complain about
because-
that shit, they don't really read anything.
And the stuff
That's
they
because-
exalt, like Winter Soldier, like that's just something that already existed too. It's like, anyways,
That's because comics are for nerds,
right.
and action movies are for cool normal people.
Yes.
Well, I'm a cool nerd.
Okay. Next thing. Count, you watched Friday the 13th Part 5. I was in bed. Slushie also watched this, I think.
Yeah, Slushie
watched-
hated this movie. It broke my heart.
I watched the last hour of it, which I assume it's like 90 minutes, so I missed the setup for it, but then I watched all the kills, and they were just really boring. I don't know. There was nothing.
Wow, sounds like a Puppet Master movie.
It's better than that. It's better than Puppet Master movie. Come on, Slushie.
I really liked. What's the name of the Return of the Living Dead character that's in this? I forgot his name.
He's called Spider in this. I forget what his name is in Return of the Living Dead.
Is he the one with diarrhea in this?
Yes.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen
And
that
enchiladas.
scene.
Because of those damn
Yeah,
tacos.
Yeah.
Red Letter Media references it a lot.
Right. So
Yeah. I love Friday the 13th Part 5. It's probably one of my favorite ones in the series because it's so like disgusting and sleazy and just gross. And it's before the series goes supernatural, which I enjoyed. I have Roy's mask on my wall, so I really like this one.
Roy being the new Jason.
Yeah, Roy's the new Jason. It's not Jason in this movie. It's a copycat killer, which I thought is interesting. But all the fans of the series scream about, and they all hate Roy because he's not Jason. And I want to say, go fuck yourself. Can you do anything different ever?
What do they hate the first one too? Because it's not Jason.
Well, that's different. So they always say. I brought it up on my stream. This is part 5, right?
Mhm.
So within 5 movies, we have 3 different killers. It's really not that absurd.
Sounds like another series that you like, which is Name of Scream.
Right. Scream has a lot of killers all the time. Every movie has a different killer.
I will say one positive thing about this movie.
Yeah.
I noticed that they weren't really showing Jason or much of his physical form during many of the kills until like the last big sequence. It was always like just his hand as it was slashing someone's top of head off, or it was always just his leg as he was stepping into frame. And I was like, we all know it's Jason. It's Friday the 13th. Everybody knows it's Jason. Why are they trying to hide the fact that it's Jason?
It's like a giallo.
I can explain that if you want me to.
Well, I understand why now, because
Okay.
it's not Jason.
It's not Jason.
Yeah,
and
like
and
it's
the movie sets it up that it's Tommy, the guy who killed Jason. And then all the cops and everyone say, no, Jason's dead. So they're trying to make the audience think that it's Tommy
Mhm.
killing people.
I guess
It's
that
like a
makes sense.
giallo.
I must have missed that.
It is
part.
like a giallo,
I'm gonna keep.
which I usually hate.
I'm gonna keep
I will
saying this
say-
until somebody acknowledges me.
I'll say another thing. I think people need to learn when to shut the fuck up. Because as I was saying, it's obviously Jason. Why are they hiding that it's Jason? Someone in chat was like, oh, you're in for a rude awakening. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I haven't seen it. It's obvious I haven't seen it.
People love to ruin everything.
You know the
'Cause the
movie.
killer's
Do you want
boy.
to fucking treat? Good job.
Right.
You know the movie. Great.
Which I guess I'm spoiling if anyone was listening to this who hasn't seen it. I apologize for that, but
Well,
whatever.
It's different. We're talking about it on a movie podcast.
Right.
Like if you were in the theater and someone behind you was like, it's Roy, actually. You know, you'd want to punch him in the fucking face.
That's why it's hard to show stuff on Twitch and some of the things that we have to save to watch privately.
Right.
I mean, I didn't think this was. I mean, it sucks that got ruined for you, but I didn't think this was such a secret to, not show. You know what I mean?
I don't think it was the biggest deal in the world. It's just fucking
Right, just rude.
It's just endemic at this point. It's just how people are, and it's annoying as hell.
So Friday the 13th, you can't recommend it, part 5, Slushie?
I wouldn't personally. Maybe you need the context of the rest of the series.
I don't know if you do, but it's got some good tits in it. It's got the best boobs in the series. It's probably the movie with the most boobs in it. We counted 3 pairs. I can't think of one that
That's
has
6
more than
boobs.
That's 6 boobs.
And that's
Quick math, Morris.
Sometimes only one comes out, though. So.
Oh, you saw all of them, all of them, and they're vary of sizes. There's some small boobs, some gigantic ones, and then some medium-sized boobs. So there's something for
3
everyone.
different sizes of boobs.
Yes.
And
Good.
then we watched after the movie, we watched a music video about a child who got traumatized by one of the pairs of boobs and then got traumatized by Jason.
That's true.
What music video was that?
Wolfie's Just Fine, I believe.
Wolfie's Just Fine. Oh, that's
that might be the band.
That's a T2
New Beginning
reference.
might be the song.
What the fuck?
Wolfie's Just Fine might be the guy who makes it, and then A New Beginning is probably a song because this is A New Beginning. I want to say one more thing about this.
Yeah.
As a final girl, who at the time of filming was like 32 years old, which I said during the stream is super old for an actress to be the final girl, and I like that about this movie. Because usually they're like 18 years old as an actress, and they make them go through all this horrible shit.
Was she 32 years old playing 18, or was she playing 32?
She was probably playing 32 because this movie's about Tommy who kills Jason part 4, and he was 12 then, and then this is him kind of like at 17, 18, and he's at a home for troubled teens, and she's like a counselor there. She like runs it, so she's definitely meant to be an older adult.
Okay.
She's also really hot.
The only Friday the 13th movie I ever saw until the past decade was Goes to Hell, which pretty much sucks, but
it's pretty bad. It's the one that connects him to Evil Dead, though.
Is the Necronomicon in that or something?
The Necronomicon's in that, and then they have like the Kandarian dagger in it that they used to like kill Jason with.
I saw that before I saw Evil Dead, so I wouldn't have got it.
And the director who only made Jason Goes to Hell and nothing else, and never created Jason or nothing, but like he says, Jason is a Deadite. So take that with a grain of salt. That's his, like when he was making that movie, he's like, Jason's a Deadite. Let's put these little sprinkles of like the Necronomicon.
Interesting. I guess I can see that in hindsight.
And then they made the comic, and they never made the movie. Like the big crossover.
So, Count, you ready for the anime minute?
Yes, I am.
All right, let me.
Count, anime hater, is going to do the anime minute.
I do.
All right. Do you want a countdown?
Sure.
Let me get
a countdown.
Ha ha! 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everyone. This is the Anime Minute with CountPupper, and today's episode is my Adventures with Superman, the brand new Superman series that's on Adult Swim and HBO Max. You can watch the first 2 episodes right now, and it's Superman starting out the Daily Planet with Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen. It's really fucking good. he doesn't get his suit until the second episode, but he gets it in a magical girl transformation, and it's fucking incredible. Pa Kent's still alive. I like that. The whole thing's very wholesome. Ma Kent's still alive too. Lois and Clark instantly are attracted to each other, which is refreshing. They both find each other very cute and adorable, and it's also good to see journalism still being portrayed, which is probably the most unrealistic part. I can buy a flying man with laser eyes, but it's hard to believe that 3 young people are working at a newspaper. Like, that's the most unbelievable part. Yeah, in the New York City stand-in. Slade Wilson's in it, but he doesn't have the eye patch yet. He's like a young blonde. Watch it.
Amazing self-restraint from CountPupper.
I had never heard of this until I woke up this morning and Count was like, "Yeah, I'm watching this Superman." So
it's
gotta watch
apparently brand new.
Yeah,
it just came out last night. Yeah,
is it just the first 2 episodes?
Just the first 2 so far. I assume
it's airing
after that.
I looked it up, and it airs 2 episodes at a time on Adult Swim, and then it's on HBO Max the next morning.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, finally, getting to the actual big movies we plan to watch this week and cover. We watched the That's not right. We watched the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Doki, doki,
released this year. Was it this year?
Yeah.
This year. A few months ago.
It was supposed to be last year, but it got delayed.
I didn't think this was very good.
No.
Anyway.
I thought it was fine.
Littlest Reich. No. Okay. Little gag.
Yeah.
I thought Super Mario Brothers movie is fine. I said visually it's free. Everything looks as it should. That's what I have as my main note.
What'd you say? Everything looked...
Everything what?
Visually, it's a treat, and everything looks as it should.
Well, I didn't think Peach looked as she should because her eyes always looked like upside-down eggs.
Yeah, like, her eyes were weird.
Peach looked really
weird. You need
a
map because you keep getting lost in them.
I thought the design on Peach's head was just, like, odd, but I don't know. Small thing. Small nitpick. She just had weirdly shaped eyes and her facial expressions were weird. I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, they're slightly off, but I still think that it looks as it should for what Illumination was doing.
Famously, I hate CG. I've never even seen Toy Story.
Wait, really?
Really.
Toy Story coming next week.
No, I don't want to watch it. So I don't really have like a big... So I looked at my document and I have like 5, my personal media document. I have 5 computer animated things on there. The highest rated one is Red versus Blue.
Now, do you hate like the new trend of anime using CG?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like it in general. Because I like traditional animation and I like to look at it.
Now, I'll say this about Superman: there are CG robots that he fights. They're like Metal Gears. The anime minute's over. I'm just giving you a heads up so you don't scream at me later.
Oh, I wasn't gonna.
Well, Mortis, here's something I can say, because I know that you already hate Disney for various reasons, but it's also their fault that traditional animation died.
Yeah, I know. So, okay. Speaking of Disney, on that note, let's just jump ahead a couple notes. A couple of my notes. It says, I'm skipping that note. That's my first note on this movie. So, I assume this is like an Illumination thing, or it's like a Disney thing. One of the things I hated about this movie is nobody can turn their head and say something. They have to like reel back and then like yank forward and like scoop invisible ice cream up with their chin, and then like their head kind of like rebounds off an invisible ceiling. Like every single movement in this is like so exaggerated, and it's like, I think that's like Disney kind of did that with traditional stuff, sort of like.
Yeah, the exaggerations.
Yeah, like it's too much. I really didn't like that. I don't know. That kind of style. The kind of thing that people like post on Twitter and they're like, this is amazing. This is how to do animation. It's like, just show some restraint. You know?
Have you seen on Twitter as well? Well, I think it originates from TikTok, but I don't have TikTok, so I see reposts on Twitter or Instagram of now this is just what I'm seeing. It's young Zoomer girls typically, and they have like over exaggerated facial expressions to like mimic animation, and everyone loves it. And I just think it's the worst thing in the world.
Yes, I have seen that. That's kind of what I was talking about. Like, I've seen the few times that I've gone on TikTok, it's like
people really love it though.
There's like
I just don't get it.
some guy doing like weird contortions and shit, and everyone's like, "This is what Disney should hire this guy to mocap."
Right.
Like, what?
Nintendo hire this man.
Like,
my understanding with those as well is that they generally film at half speed.
yeah, I would imagine.
Sure.
That's just like a function you can do in TikTok.
Yeah,
But just looks stupid.
I don't like it. Like, I just don't like the animation style, and I don't like computer graphics. So I don't know.
Now, is there anything you did like about the movie, Mortis?
Yes, the score was good. I thought the actual like score soundtrack was very good, and obviously it's all like based on, you know, Koji Kondo original themes, but like it was well done and it fit the scenes, and it, you know, it was a good like film score version of those songs. And whenever it happened, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is pretty good. I like that.
Then we got licensed music.
I hated that. Yeah.
That was awful. The licensed music was awful.
Like 6 seconds into the movie, when it does Battle Without Honor and Humanity, it's like, who is this for?
It was very, very weird.
Like, for all the like 6-year-old kids who have seen Kill Bill, and like,
It's for the parents. It's like anime.
It's even dated though to like even putting in a movie now. Feels so weird.
It was a really bizarre.
That's
Like
20
that one
years
in
ago.
particular was really bizarre. But like, yes, every so often there's just, friend of the show Cyraptor called them needle drops, where it will just play a pop song for no reason, and it doesn't really fit, and it doesn't really make sense or work, and it just comes across as like they're trying to sell a soundtrack album or something.
Which doesn't make sense because they don't do that anymore anyway, because they just put it on Spotify in a playlist.
Right. Yeah. It's like,
Now I know Illumination made it. I don't know who owns them though. But to put any song in a movie is sometimes $250,000. Like just use a song for rights. So it's really peculiar. Some of this.
yeah, we're talking like $1.5 million at this point,
right?
Just on the song.
Well, that's according to, again, friend of the show Cyraptor. That's just kind of a thing Illumination does. Is they just drop like 10 to 15 seconds of a pop song edited to make it even worse.
This might be the first Illumination movie I've ever seen. I'd have to look at a list.
I've seen Despicable Me and I've seen Minions.
Yeah,
I have not.
Neither of which in like. I didn't think those movies were terrible, but I also did not see them. It was against my will, basically. But
that's like me and Mission Impossible 3.
So I just skimmed the list. I have not seen any of them except for Super Mario Brothers. So, this is my first one, I guess. Maybe they're all like this. I don't
know. I didn't know who Illumination, like in all the lead up to this stuff, you know, when it has like Shigeru Miyamoto going like, oh yeah, we've been talking to Illumination and Chris Meledandri on, like, I didn't know what any of that stuff was. And then when this movie started and it's like the Illumination logo and a Minion and a Mario Kart, I was like, oh fuck. So
yeah, I knew they were the Minions people.
But you know, I think that I kind of just like kind of like a low 3 for me. 3 out of 5, approaching like a 2 out of 5. I don't know.
It just felt inoffensive and kind of bland, but also what a Mario movie maybe should be. I don't know. I don't know. Not everything has to be a movie, okay?
Well,
maybe that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, here's
excited for the Zelda movie.
Here's some stuff.
No.
here's some stuff in this that did work for me. I like the stuff in the real world. I like the beginning. I liked the stuff with Mario's family. That's good
family representation of Italian Americans, I gotta say. I haven't seen that in a modern movie in a very long time. I appreciated that illumination. Thank you.
I liked Luigi. I liked Mario and Luigi's relationship. How they were very good friends.
I wish we got to see more of that.
I wish we got to see more of it. Yeah, because they get separated for 90% of the movie. Charlie Day, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. He was good as Luigi. Chris Pratt, I barely there. I barely noticed him.
Yeah, the Chris Pratt voice, like, I also was very upset about Chris Pratt being Mario when it was first
remember
announced.
You being upset about that.
I know a lot of people were. It's understandable. He is a nothing actor, and this is a character that has been very important to a lot of people for much of their lives. So, like, having this nothing bullshit actor who doesn't do voice acting now be a voice actor for this beloved character,
I felt like
understandable to be worried.
I feel like there was a couple scenes where he sort of put on an Italian thing.
Yeah,
like he kind of went.
It was like thinly sprinkled.
I look at that. Hey, it's a me, Chris Pratt.
I didn't think he was horrible, but nothing special either.
Yeah, nothing to.
I'm still mad that they separated the brothers. I know that they didn't want to have Princess Peach be captured and have a damsel in distress type scenario, but I think having two brothers explore a new kingdom, both of them being fish out of water, could have been more interesting. And then Mario encouraging Luigi to be brave could have been good. I don't know. He just decides to be brave at the end for no reason.
When they got separated, a thing that I sort of like pictured, is Luigi gonna like join Bowser and like become friends with Bowser and then like have to like remember his friendship with Mario? Like, no, that doesn't happen.
Well, they were sticking so many fucking things from the game that you literally couldn't. I'm very angry about it. I know a lot of people say about video game movies that there's not enough shit from the game. I don't think that's an issue with video game movies usually. But like, they were doing so much shit from games, they could have put Mr. L in there, where in Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, where Luigi is evil because he's been brainwashed. They could have done that. That could have been fun.
Right.
But instead, Luigi's just not in the movie.
Well, I'm trying to think of a way they could have done it and had their cake to eat it as well. As far as like, Mario and Luigi, don't separate them. Don't have Peach be a damsel in distress, and just say that Bowser has the key for them to get home, maybe. And all three of them have to work together. Right? That could work.
Yeah, I mean, that could work. Sure.
You can just say Bowser has the key to getting home. He took the Power Star, and you need that to get back to your world. I don't know.
That would have been good. I think that could have been good, yeah.
Yeah. So Luigi was good. One of my other notes is there's a snappiness or snarkiness that is too much for me. I don't know.
There was
like every scene is just like bang bang bang, line, little joke, like just chill out a little bit. And like that goes along with the general pace is just like action scene. Like I felt like the Rainbow Road thing could have like not been in the movie. I felt like the whole
Yeah.
Kong thing could have not been in the movie, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like there's just too many things happening.
The
And
Kongs being in it are a weird choice, and I love Donkey Kong. And
I thought
kinda
Donkey
weird.
Kong was good. Like they could
I
have put
thought it was
Donkey.
good.
They could have maybe put Donkey Kong in without the entire like Kong kingdom and that whole
Right.
thing.
They could have just stumbled upon him or something.
Yeah, I felt like every time they had a scene that was like, oh, this is like the video game, you know, like with platforming and stuff. It was like,
You mean every fucking scene in the movie?
well, in particular, the training course and the Donkey Kong fight was like, this is a little contrived. Like they have gone a little too far to try to make this like the video game, and
They overcorrected from the backlash of the first live action movie in an insane way.
maybe, yeah.
Because Miyamoto hates it and it was very sad that everyone hated it, and just I feel like they just
especially
really went
because
the other
it's a
direction.
great fucking movie.
It is a great movie. It is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying
I
that
know, I'm
people
just
think
saying.
it's dumb.
But like
And then
on the topic of being like a video game, the shot in Brooklyn that is made to look like a video game was good.
Yes.
But the stuff that's made to look actually like the video game rather than, you know, be side scrolling. I don't know. I didn't like that stuff.
I will say it's funny that they did go with making Mario and Luigi Italians from Brooklyn a thing in this movie, because I remember a few years ago Miyamoto was saying, "Oh, he was never Italian or from Brooklyn," and then they backtracked on that real quick.
What did you think about Bowser?
I liked Bowser.
Slushie?
I think he was underutilized, frankly. Like, I don't know. I think
I feel like
they
he was
should
in a good
have.
amount.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, I think they should have been in more scenes together, like Bowser and
Right.
Peach or Bowser and Mario.
Right.
He doesn't really interact with anyone except for Kamek, and when he's doing that, he's just yelling over Kamek or yelling over whatever soldier interrupts them, practicing making out or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. I'm very cynical about this movie in general. I think the movie itself is a very cynical movie. I think Nintendo sat there and watched how every single video game movie had a bunch of old idiots and young idiots and just idiots in general complaining about how, well, the movie's not close enough to the game. The fucking Lara Croft doesn't do a handstand and then enter the secret code and she's naked. You know,
I forgot there was a Tomb Raider movie.
There's two of them.
Oh,
no,
God.
there's three of them. Sorry.
3?
One of them was made after,
Did they-
like during the current Tomb Raider trilogy or the recent Tomb Raider trilogy.
So it doesn't
And then
have
two of them
Angelina
were
Jolie?
Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
Yeah, two of them were Jolie movies.
I didn't even know there was a
from the early
new
2000s.
one. God.
Yeah, I mean it's just called Tomb Raider. I don't think anyone watched it. You know, there's the Assassin's Creed movie, and everyone's like, "That's not how the Animus works."
There's a movie,
and it's like,
Oh,
yeah, but
Jesus.
nobody wants to watch a movie of someone laying in bed asleep, right? So, like, of course they changed it, and like, I spent the entire movie talking about how we need to watch the Sonic movie because I think the Sonic movie is a great example of a video game movie done well.
We'll get
Because
to him.
It seems
It
seems
is-
very old school in the way that it was made.
Yeah,
It's made
sure.
like the first Super Mario Brothers movie was.
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. Like it's its own thing. It's an interpretation of the character, an interpretation of the world. They do it in a way that is unique. It doesn't need to be the video game. Like video game movies don't need to follow the video game beat by beat. That usually is going to make for a boring movie, like it did in this case, because video games are fun because you're playing them, not necessarily because you're watching them. I don't know anybody who sits there and watches commentary-less long plays and does nothing else when it comes to video games. And I don't think
They
that-
have like 300,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, there's
Right,
there's
because-
commentary-less long plays on Tubi. Probably.
which is insane.
These
Yeah.
people
But,
exist. I don't know.
When I watch a commentary-less long play, it's to check out something in a video game that I can't figure out as like a video guide, or it's to, look at the ending of the game I'm done playing because it's gotten bullshit. And thankfully, Slouchy's right there for me using cheats to get through it, which I'm too lazy to do usually.
Yeah. Nintendo plus Illumination plus Slouchy.
Right. But with this movie, it's just like everything you expect to happen happens. So there's not really any fun surprises. Every character is incredibly boring because they refuse to do anything unique with them.
Well, nothing really has any time to breathe.
That too.
Like
yeah,
they don't give you any time to like Mario. I said Mario and Luigi had a good relationship, and it's that they hug and say and as long as they're brothers, they can do anything twice, and like that's
Right.
it. Because like they don't give you any other.
They don't really
There's no
see it.
opportunity to do anything else because there's always just shit happening.
right.
Now it's strange. I said that about Warlock 2. That I love that's how Warlock 2 is.
Uh-huh.
It's an insanely
Well,
paced.
Like I
foot
said
on the
with
pedal.
Warlock too.
Well, they spend a lot of time with the relationship between the druids and
Right, and there's
that.
constant shit happening on the screen, which is what's happening in Super Mario Brothers movie, but it's not good. They do it in a bad way.
Like I said
there's
with
pacing
Warlock,
and there's pacing.
there's a way for them to do it badly.
Right.
And the other thing too is like, I don't know. I know I've made the point already, but it really bothered me how often they were like, look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is from the games. This is from the games too. Look, here's Dixie Kong. Look, here's Chunky Kong right next to her. Look, Donkey Kong is going to do the taunt pose from Smash Bros. Look, he's gonna roll like he does in Donkey Kong Country. Look, Mario's holding his arms out while he runs like he does in the whatever in Odyssey. Look, here's this, and it goes hand in hand with like the pacing thing. It's just exhausting.
I feel like the thing they spent the most time establishing was the power-ups, which was weird, It's just, Peach is like, oh, we have power-ups. They work until you get hit. Here's this power-up. Here's how this power-up works. Like, they spent more time explaining the fucking power-ups than they did,
Right.
Mario's
Because you can buy everything else,
personality.
but like we have to have that explained, or else the audience is going to be completely lost.
Yeah.
He got the blue mushroom. Like they're gonna do all this shit
Is that
and
a
then
thing?
not even call it the right mushroom.
Is blue mushroom
Yes,
a thing?
There is, yeah.
It was introduced in New Super Mario Brothers. It's called the mini mushroom.
Okay.
It does exactly that. Oh
What-
yeah, Cat Mario. Cyraptor reminding me about Cat
Oh,
Mario.
How do we feel when he got like big?
It was gross and weird.
Weird, right?
It was weird how
Yeah.
he got big in parts, and then he just was a big version of himself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to do some psychic damage to people.
He gets the Cat Mario suit. I thought that was fun. I didn't expect them to do a Cat Mario thing. I will say that I enjoyed that, but I'm a cat. That's like a personal bias that I cannot escape.
Did Mario himself get the fire flower? I know Peach did, and Donkey Kong did.
I don't think
know if he
Mario
ever
ever got a fire
use
flower.
it. No, he got sort of
He, like, went-
locked on it with Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
That's a wasted opportunity if you're cramming everything into the fucking movie and not that.
I thought it was great to see a fire flower palette of 2 of Peach's costumes, and you got to
Well,
see
it
Fire
was-
Donkey Kong. It was great.
Yeah, and then they did like the ice flower.
Is that a thing? Is that real?
It is a thing. It was introduced in New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Okay.
It's a very fun power up in that game because you turn the enemies into ice blocks and then you can pick them up and throw them, and it's fun.
Yeah, instead of fireballs, it's snowballs.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like the
I
ice
thought it
beam
was
from
weird that-
Metroid, which I know from Fallout Boys. We didn't start the fire.
It was weird that they did Ice Peach while she was wearing the wedding dress so that she just looked literally like Elsa from Frozen. That was strange, and I'm surprised that Disney didn't throw a fit about that. But maybe they're too scared to go after Nintendo. Who knows?
Could be.
Do we have anything else to say about this?
Watch the Sonic movie instead. Fuck this shit.
I think, sure. I think it's good for kids. You know, I think it's fine for them. Once again, I don't know
I think
if we're
the
the
Sonic
target
movie's
audience.
better for kids.
I think
Maybe.
the kids should watch Super Mario: The Great Strategy to Rescue Princess Peach. The fan dub is on archive.org.
Of course, Doki Doki Do It is
It has Doki
incredible.
Doki Do It. There's nothing objectionable in that, right? For kids?
I don't think so.
remember,
The new game has the Flower Kingdom in it, which is from that movie, so maybe that prince is coming back.
Could
Maybe.
see
be.
a return.
I really want to
The
see
new
Donkey
game
Kong
has
now.
fucking drugs in it, dude. How did they get away with that? You can't have kids playing a drugs game.
Dude, Mario always had drugs. You take the mushroom, man.
That is the one thing I'm shocked wasn't in the Illumination movie. Was some sort of joke about that.
Right.
About drugs.
Right, like, dude, crazy
I
mushrooms.
guarantee you, Illumination brought that to the table, and Miyamoto was like, "Fuck no,
no, get
You're
this
not
out."
doing that."
Cranky
Instead,
Kong
Mario.
sucked.
Yeah, Cranky Kong's voice was so fucking bad.
Who was that? Which big weird celebrity was
Armisen,
it?
right?
Was that Fred Armisen? Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
me.
saying
I'm
that
Cranky.
about looking it up, 'cause it
I'm
sounded
Cranky
like
Kong. You get over here, Donkey Kong. Like weird. I don't know. You know, if
Cranky Kong,
if you're crusty, if you're a crusty old fucking bastard, you know, maybe don't watch Super Mario movie.
The Kongs didn't even really fight the Koopas, right? They just had the race.
They
and that
drove
was
in
it.
their car. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
The Kongs, known for their cars, got ambushed on the Rainbow Road, and everybody died.
So here's what you do. You have Mario and Luigi, you don't separate them. You have their way to get home stuck with Koopa, so they have to team up with Princess Peach. So the three of them go off on a little adventure. Maybe they take a boat and it crashes on a little island which has Donkey Kong, and they add him to the adventure. And you bypass all this bullshit that doesn't add to the movie.
What did you think about that little Shine Spark or whatever the hell it's called, who was depressed?
I hated him.
Oh, the Luma
from
Mario
Galaxy. They were trying so hard to make him like a fucking minion or something.
Yeah, they were pushing him so hard.
Yeah,
that was so weird. I think what they should have done with that character, if they were gonna go that weird route,
maybe just use him less.
Well, he should have
less.
been that right at the beginning, and then Luigi should have been you can fly, just fly out of the. You fit through the bars, just fly out of the prison, and then he would be like, "Oh, okay," and then he'd out of the movie.
I think it was cute that he was in it because Mario Galaxy is a good game and to have a reference, but not have him be that character that he was. He just have him sad. You know, why can't he just be sad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a cute little voice, be sad about it. It doesn't have to be some weird, dark. I don't know. It was dumb.
Instead, he's like the girl who gets naked in Return of the Living Dead, whose name I've forgotten.
Trash.
He's like trash.
He's like trash. He gets naked like trash, and then if anything bad did happen to him, he probably would have freaked out and broken his character, and then I would have been very disappointed.
Right. He would have hated being burned in lava.
I didn't get to say that about Return of the Living Dead, but they have these cool punk characters who are cool, and then they immediately become huge pussy bitches. And
well, that's the point of the movie.
Right. I get it, but also let one of the punk characters remain cool, at least.
The guy from Friday the 13th Part 5. I can't remember his name in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, but he didn't have any moment like Trash where he's like, I want to die by having old men eat me. Oh, and he didn't have a moment like Suicide where he's like, the shit's a fucking lifestyle. You're a fucking poser. Fuck off.
Well, Suicide also didn't puss out. He just got killed.
Right. But that's the thing. I wish he had a moment to shine outside of that. And I wish they didn't make Trash immediately. Like, Trash should have been having a fucking orgasm while she was getting eaten by the zombies. That would have been funny and cool.
Slushy, you never met
And it
someone
would have
like
been a
Trash
good
before
setup.
in your life?
What's that?
You never met someone like Trash before in your life?
I have, and it's frustrating.
Right, well, those people exist.
I know. But I want cool people to exist too.
Well, you know.
People can be cool without.
I feel like seeing the dead come back would make me piss my pants, so I don't know. I'd be fucking just terrified of a zombie coming trying to eat my brains.
I think that if someone loses their conviction when their feet are held to the fire by a zombie apocalypse, that doesn't make them uncool.
Right. She was also naked. Like, so you're naked and defenseless. Like, I don't know.
Well, everybody who was clothed with this was defenseless too. So
she's naked and afraid.
Anyway, Super Mario Brothers. I don't know. Don't watch it.
yeah, it sucked.
I mean, I don't
It
care
sucked,
about Mario,
and
so whatever.
I'm legitimately really sad that they're making a Legend of Zelda movie with the same studio now.
We'll see if it gets made.
Because they're not going to go all the way towards the animated series, and they're not going to make it anything like their characters aren't going to be anything like the game.
Link is not going to dress up Gerudo.
Is it going to be Ocarina of Time?
He's not going to be a cute schwink. He's going to be annoying in a way that isn't appealing, and it's going to suck.
Slushie.
I hope I'm proven wrong.
Which game do you think it's going to be?
It's going to be Breath of the Wild.
Link to the Past.
There's no way in hell they're going to do anything else.
I thought it was going to be Ocarina of Time.
If they do Link to the Past, they're going to make some shitty joke about how his hair's not pink, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, pink. It's so cool," and it's just going to be lame.
Pink.
In Link to the Past, his hair is pink.
It is?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. And he turns into a little pink bunny when he goes to the Dark World if you don't have the Moon Pearl.
I know about that.
I think they should do Oracle of Seasons.
Not enough people making art of the fucking Rabbit Link. Just gonna say that.
Artists making art of the Rabbit Link.
I think Wind Waker would make a better Zelda movie.
I agree. You have
actually really adapt
you have an animated sidekick, like a animated object sidekick. You have Tetra, who is cool. Yeah. You have Beetle, who is cool.
Yeah.
Link is cool. Link's sister is cool. Link's grandma is cool.
It's a call to action hero
looks
movie.
Really good in it.
You have a guy who lives on an island who's coming of age. His sister gets kidnapped, so he has to suit up to go rescue his sister, and he realizes it's part of a bigger plot. It's fucking perfect to make a movie about.
Just like Star Wars.
I also hope the Zelda movie contains a realistic depiction of an Italian family. Thank you, Cyraptor.
Anyway, our final movie, back in Puppet Master. We watched Puppet Master Littlest Reich, the 2018? The 2018 Fangoria presents reboot without Charles Band's involvement, even though he is a writing credit on IMDb. I don't remember seeing him in the movie credits.
I would imagine that's just
all based on characters by.
Yeah,
what I saw.
Oh, did it say that? Okay, I figured that's what it was. It's not very good. I don't know. Anyway, see you next week. No, little joke.
So in reality, I think this is maybe the best Puppet Master movie in 2.5 decades.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
This is my 6th favorite Puppet Master movie.
Wow, really? This is probably 3rd for me.
Wow.
1, 2 in this, or 2, 1 in this.
What are numbers 3, 4, and 5 ahead of it, Bornus?
Well, okay, let's 2, 4, 3, 1, 10. LR. That's the order.
Interesting.
What about you,
I guess you
Slushie?
did
Where do
like
you rank
Sarge
it?
a lot. I need to double check. It's either 3 or 4.
I just had a weird time with this movie. Like, I don't know. It's okay. So it's not Charles Band. It's not Full Moon. This is totally different people.
This is because you read that book, isn't it?
Well, no. Okay. There was something that the book set me up for that I was disappointed by, but we'll get to that. It's just okay. This is a horror movie. Like a lot of these Puppet Master movies, we've been like, is this a horror movie? Like, what are we watching? Like, I think the previous, 13 whatever Puppet Master movies are like at their core movies about little guys that happen to have some kills in them, right?
Yeah.
This is just this is a fucking horror movie. And
good. That's good.
Well, I don't know. Like,
yeah, please go ahead.
I don't know. I just like, I don't love gore. I like there are movies that are very gory that I like I don't know, Dead Alive,
Sure.
some of the Evil Deads. I feel like I don't necessarily have a problem with horror movies. I like a lot of horror movies. I feel like this movie, the people who are getting killed in this movie, and the movie addresses it, the people who are getting killed don't deserve to get killed.
Right.
And well, at the end of the movie,
they are Nazis.
At the end of the movie, it says, there's that kid talking about the comic book. He's like, a lot of people who didn't deserve to die got killed. It's like, yeah, that's just, it's really odd. I mean, like, yes, it's like, this is a horror movie about a handful of like genuinely really likable characters, which is weird for a horror movie. They're the victims, and then the other set of victims is like a bunch of Jewish and gay people, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to like, in a lot of horror movies, the targets are like just paper thin, or people you actually want to see killed, and it's like, you can't feel that bad about like just a really gory kill of someone you do not care about. But in this, it's like, what are you trying to say?
That kind of makes it effective, though.
I guess. I don't know.
I'm curious about the production side of this, and I'll give my thoughts about actually looking into it. Now, the Full Moon and Charles Band stuff seems like a Jewish revenge movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the puppets are good, and they're killing Nazis, and Charles Band's family history with the Holocaust and everything.
Yeah.
And then this feels, which is very I don't know. It seems that the Jewish media seems to really poke fun of itself typically in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Things that like the Coen brothers do and everything. So this makes me think this was made by a much bigger Jewish production company, and that they were just being really self-aware and making fun of themselves, maybe.
I don't know. It's
I feel like if it wasn't made by Jewish people, it's very in poor taste.
Right.
But if it was, then it makes sense because they like to poke fun at themselves. So right. I don't know.
I was kind of looking on the Wikipedia, and I was looking at like the reception, and one of the reviews was like, it said like a Jewish revenge picture. It's like, no,
it's
like,
not.
Like they don't get revenge on anything. They break some puppets and then they die, and then like the Nazi like walks into the forest. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel fulfilling in that way that the other Puppet Master movies do when they
right.
And part of it is I'm fucking sick of Nazis. Like, I'm just so over it. But, like,
I mean, I am too.
I don't know, but like,
once again, excited for the next movie, Blade Iron Cross.
I think the next two are more Nazis.
I think Dr. Death is like agnostic of any of that, right? Because it's like
I don't know.
It's like a pre-Nazi puppet in an old folks home.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
Like, once again, there were a lot of Jewish jokes, which is fine if it's made by Jewish people. But, like, I think if it wasn't, it's definitely in poor taste.
It's well, okay. So let's get back to the film. So the setup of this film is that it's a total reboot of Puppet Master, whereas in the past, Andre Toulon was a French guy who fought the Nazis. In this movie, he's a French-German guy who was a Nazi. So he made all these puppets, and rather than the puppets being powered by human souls and Egyptian magic, they're powered by Satanism and Nazi magic.
Like blue crystal or purple crystals.
Purple crystals. So this is okay. I don't know. The movie starts in 89. Is 89 when Puppet Master 1 came out, by the way?
That sounds right.
That's probably why they did 89 specifically, right?
It's gotta be.
Maybe? Yeah, 89 was Puppet Master.
But like Andre Toulon, we meet him. He goes to a bar. He's played by Udo Kier. Pretty good. Like he comes across as like a super creep.
Yeah.
Just instantly. And also like there's some lesbians and he's like, "You disgusting homosexuals." And then he kills them with his puppets.
It was 1989.
Are you guys gonna do your skit? Did I fuck it up?
I completely forgot. Completely forgot what it was.
Right.
This is not the first time. This is maybe the third time Count and I have planned something to do on the podcast and just completely forgot.
Slush always forgets the end of the bit.
So, like...
Oh, yeah, blame it on me.
We see a little...
I just said it was 1989. I completed it from words.
Count just jumped to the end of the skit. It was 1989, so it was okay to be homophobic, is the punchline.
Thank you.
So, we see like a little flash of Pinhead, Tunneler, and Blade. And there's sort of an unclear time skip where he leaves the bar having been spurned by the lesbians, and he's controlling the puppets remotely, giving them orders. So this is the thing that the book set me up for disappointment on. The book, when the book is describing Toulon controlling his puppets, it's like it says he's like in his mausoleum, and it describes him like a puppeteer, like with his control rods or something. And I pictured he would be like a fucked up, like, again, Dr. Phibes style zombie, like literally with puppet strings coming out of the ceiling, and he's like literally like pulling and manipulating on different puppet strings. What it is in the in the film is a alcove with some rebar coming out of the top.
Yeah.
He lays in an alcove with rebar, and purple lightning goes on the rebar. It's like, it's really underwhelming compared to what I expect. And it's like not cool at all. It's just, I don't know. He remotely controls the puppets with magical rebar. So
some sort of psychic connection.
Yeah.
Control the puppets.
We haven't seen it yet, but the book made a connection with Dolls, the film Dolls. Have you seen that, Count?
I have seen Dolls. I like Dolls. I think it's Stuart Gordon who made Reanimator.
Dolls, and also like Tourist Trap, I think the book.
Tourist Trap I like less, but it's a... I don't know. I don't really... people love Tourist Trap. I'm not one of them.
So, like, I guess Pinhead... It must be Pinhead, right? Who kills the driver?
Yes.
Because we just see, like, a pair of hands and a garrote, like, completely decapitate one of these ladies, and then we don't really see the other lady die. And then the cops like connect this to Toulon. Like, I was confused about that. It's
Toulon.
Right, yes. And that's back to the book again. Let me just put the book up. Puppet Master Complete by Nat Bramer. Bramer posited that the Barbara Crampton's correction of the pronunciation of Toulon was to sort of say to the viewer that remind the viewer that this is a different character and a different universe, and it's not the Toulon that we're used to.
I don't think that was her intention.
My thought, because she like corrects people multiple times, I thought it was setting her up for being like, because Mortis was about to get there, the cops go to his place and kill him.
Yeah.
But we don't get to see him getting killed. They just go in the door and it's like a shot on the front door and gunshots go off. So
Yeah.
I thought they were like setting up her for being working under Toulon, because now she's also she's retired and she's like running a tour of his mansion.
Yeah.
Which is
she's just someone that encountered him before and then took advantage of the opportunity of being the hero cop.
Right.
A-cap.
But I thought it would have been cooler if she was like a agent on the inside kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, would have been. I'm all for more Barbara Crampton. I think she's a intelligent, good actress. She's aged incredibly well. But I doubt she even realizes this is another timeline, just because actors don't give a shit about nerd shit like that.
Right. Well, I'm not. It's not so much like Barbara Crampton doing it, but like the writers.
Right. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we've already decided Barbara Crampton is going to be in Puppet Master 17.
I would love to
she's
have
going to
her.
be the Puppet Master, so maybe we can do it so that she's like pretending to be a victim, but she's actually the Puppet Master.
Be amazing.
That would be like a giallo.
You got to tell me what this is.
It's the Italian horror movies where a guy with black gloves stabs people with a knife, and you don't know who it is for the whole movie. And it's like,
I see.
It's just
it's gelled like
genre.
this. Like the picture on the
Is
screen.
it good?
No.
Some people like them. Some of them are good.
Okay.
So again, speaking of giallo, this movie is scored by, what is it, Fabio Frizzi or something? Fabio Frizzi, who is like an Italian composer.
Some Goomba.
Count can say that because he's Italian.
Yes. I thought the like title theme sounded a little bit like Saint Elsewhere or something. Like it reminded me of like an 80s hospital drama theme more than like a horror movie theme, but the score was like okay. I didn't love it.
I guess they were trying to capture the essence of the original movies, because that score was kind of different for what it was as well.
Yeah, synthesizer kind of.
Yeah.
But the opening titles of the movie, I've got up on screen if you're watching video. It's like a kind of comic style recounting of Toulon's life. I think it's pretty well done. I thought it was pretty interesting.
I liked it.
Basically shows Toulon like making the puppets, joining the Nazi party, doing murders for the Nazis, when leaving the Nazis when they're losing, going to America. It's just, which
he kills everyone on a boat like Dracula.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I did think about Dracula there. Like his wife, you see his wife throw herself off the boat, which like I would rather see that as a movie, that boat trip.
Yeah,
quite honestly,
that entire trip would make a great movie.
That might, maybe that is what it was, because
they did that for Dracula.
Yes, coming soon.
Yeah.
I really want to watch.
What is that called?
That does not look very good.
What is the boat called? The Nebuchadnezzar or something?
Maybe.
It's not.
No, that's the Matrix one. The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Demeter, yeah.
Demeter, yeah.
Anyway,
Demeter.
I
think Nebuchadnezzar is also another sci-fi movie.
The sequel to this was going to be called Arians Ahoy, right? So, like, maybe that's what they were doing.
Oh.
Maybe they were doing the boat.
Could be.
That's such a good name for a movie.
I guess. I'm so tired of Nazis. but
no Nazis in our Puppet Master movie.
Yeah, just
not
even a mention.
Yeah.
Not even as a joke.
No.
But like as Slushie said, Barbara Crampton is a tour guide, and I don't feel like she had to do this, but they do recount the entire title sequence, like narrated by Barbara Crampton later in the movie. So
I think they had to because people are dumb.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's time to stop making movies for dumb people and just make movies that are good instead.
So
you would think.
You would think.
I've thought that for a long time.
So I didn't pull like pictures of the main cast because who cares? But our main.
Here, I'll get you a picture.
You don't
of
have
the main
to.
guy, at least.
We meet our main guy. He's a sad guy. Moving back in, we see him moving back in with his parents. We find out he's been recently divorced, and he's on hard times. His father is.
His wife took his boots.
His boots? I don't remember that.
New boot goofing.
Oh.
He's played by the new boot goofing guy.
He's played by the guy from Reno 9/11, which I'm not really familiar with, but I like this guy's performance. He kind of he's very sad, and he just kind of deadpans his way through all of his scenes with a little bit of wit, which reminded me of myself. So
he's great.
Reminded me of you too.
His father
he was the lead actor from Reno 911 to answer Cyraptor.
The lead cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
His father is comically almost just nasty to him, immediately and without provocation. Just you piece of shit. What the fuck are you doing back in this house? You fucking loser, piece of shit.
Just like real dads.
Just like a real dad. They have a sweeter moment later though, or less. He's like, it's fine if you stay.
I'm actually looking at my notes now, and I want to jump back a little bit. I thought a thing about this that was kind of a callback to the video stores of the 80s. If you look this up on Tubi, the next thing will be Littlest Pet Shop, and if you look up Littlest Pet Shop, the next thing will be Littlest Reich. So if you're at the video store looking for a cartoon, you're gonna see the horror movies and get scared and fascinated by them. So
the tradition lives on.
The tradition lives on. But our hero, he's a burned out, depressed comic book guy, which is that felt weird to me. The comic book stuff.
He was a comic artist?
It didn't really seem to come into play other than people making fun of him. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of came into play because well, no, I guess it didn't. He knew a lot about Toulon and the puppets and all that.
Well, just because he read the fucking pamphlet. There's I don't know.
Has an imagination.
Yeah,
right?
there's the scene where he's sort of taking command of the survivors. He's like, I have an imagination, so that so he's going through his dead brother's shit, which is another thing that is not really scripted to my satisfaction, right? How did
it's if we're jumping just around, they say oh, my brother had an accident, and then later it's, oh, I guess we know what killed my brother.
Yeah, and that never got paid off either.
Right, and then that's just it.
So
I guess Blade killed his brother years ago.
So his brother has a Blade puppet in his stuff
that he found at Sleepaway Camp.
He found Blade at camp, yes. And you kind of piece together throughout the course of the movie that his brother died and that nobody knows why. And at some point in the movie, when the puppets start going crazy, he's like, I guess that's what killed my brother. And then, like, a normal movie would have more, like, guilt about that. Like, more scene, like, maybe even a flashback of him and the brother playing, you know? Like, I'm not saying this should be a normal movie, but, like, a normal movie would have that stuff, and it would be built up a little bit, and then, like, there would be a scene where the main guy, like, fights this puppet specifically and kills him, and he's like, "That got you back for my brother," and that doesn't fucking happen. It's just
right. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Because, like, what they could have done was that, like, he was sad because he was divorced, but the divorce isn't really important.
Yeah.
It's just the reason that he's sad, but also he immediately starts dating an incredibly hot woman that loves him and is super into him.
Yeah.
But he's still sad during that time.
Yeah.
So, like, it should have been they showed him and his brother together, at least a little bit in the beginning, you know, portray them as very close, and then the brother dies suddenly, and nobody knows why, and it turns out to be a puppet, which he finds out later, and then fights the puppet. And that, like, the brother dying should have been the reason he was sad.
Right, just condense it that he's visiting his parents because his brother's dead.
Right.
They don't know why, and there's like a mystery about it. Then later, have it pay off by him killing this particular Blade puppet, which I don't think they even interact at all. Like, his version of Blade never meets the lead.
It's hard to say. So, like, this movie has a lot of blades. Like,
so everybody is, like, gathering at this hotel for a puppet master Toulon convention.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an auction of 55 of the puppets that Toulon made, or 45 of the puppets that Toulon made.
Well, it's 60 is the number, but then, like, there's that scene where they're like, how many puppets are we dealing with? And there's Barbara Crampton is like, there's 60, so 40 to 45. Why isn't it just 60? Like, I didn't understand that.
She said more people will be arriving the next day for the convention.
Oh, okay.
So she was just ballparking how many people are already here with puppets.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't. So, like, Toulon, the story of this is he made a lot of puppets, and he made a lot of, like it wasn't like assembly line. They're all handmade. So, like, there's a lot of different.
This is the 16th movie? No, this is the 14th.
13th.
Movie, right?
I think it's the 13th that said on
13th.
So, like, it's a puppet. It's all the puppets from all the movies. It's one continuity. Each
that would be good, but then they'd need to have two horribly offensive puppets.
It's true.
Right.
I'm just spitting shit out.
So, yeah, I guess to jump back a little, the sad guy meets a babe, and also we're introduced to his Jewish friend Markowitz, who you know is Jewish because his name is Markowitz, and then a character points out that he's Jewish later.
Right. Which again feels like a joke that would be made by a Jewish person writing it or directing it. And if it's not, it's like really poor taste.
Like, the main three characters, and if I can just quote Slushie while we were watching it, Slushie said, I just want to watch a rom-com with these characters rather than a horror movie now. Like, they're good characters. Like, the main,
and they all have fantastic chemistry.
They have good chemistry. They're well written. They're like that. None of their lines come off as like, oh God, you know, like,
they're funny.
They're funny. They're likable. They're realistic. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Like, that aspect of the movie is good. And then, like, so they get to this convention because he's going to sell the Blade puppet. He expects to get like $2,000 or something. There's a scene where they show, like, the current eBay listings for Toulon puppets, and they're like $5 and stuff. I thought, like, they weren't a lot. It didn't seem like they were big money values, but maybe I just
those are starting bids.
Yeah, maybe I just saw it, or they were in bad shape or something. But
I mean, one of them was just Retro Tunneler's head.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. So to go back to, that's interesting. To go back to Kamen Rider Black Sun for a minute, there's these scenes in Kamen Rider Black Sun where they're like basically picking kaijins off a menu, and the pictures of the kaijins are just like old promo photos of the old suits. You know?
That's awesome.
And like, I guess, this kind of does that too. I was gonna say this was an opportunity for them to do that again, but I guess they did do it. If it
I
had
want to
Retro
state as
Tunneler's
well
head.
that this is a real movie.
Yes.
Like it or hate it, it's not like a scam. It's well shot. It feels like a real movie from the start, and it's a real movie throughout the whole thing.
It's okay. So this is a note I have. You say it's well shot, and I think for the most part it is, but there are like some of it is lit bad.
Yeah, there are some weird.
Like a lot of the
shots.
dark scenes. I was like, wait, am I
them
wearing
in the room barricaded?
Yeah, I was like, am I wearing my sunglasses? Like, why I can barely see what's fucking happening. I had to, because I'm wearing them right now. I do frequently have to wear my sunglasses for optical migraine purposes, but no, just kind of like really dark shots,
Oh, you just did that because you were cool. I'm not completely serious.
I just thought you were a big Wesker fan.
He hates Resident Evil, Count. You know it.
This is news to me.
But for the most part, it's a well-made real movie with like real camera angles and real shots and real lighting for the most part.
Yeah, and for the most part as well, the effects are really good. Like the puppet movement is pretty good, and
I love the puppet movement.
It's
really good.
A lot of it is like the cheaper, lower grade CG stuff.
Do you want to just
like when
jump ahead to the first kill of the present and like talk about that?
Sure, with Torch finally.
Was that
the Torch?
Torch is back, baby.
Kaiser.
Yeah, for some reason they're calling Torch Kaiser.
Well, that's what the people call it. Maybe they don't know his name.
That's his. Well, like all of the kind of a weird thing about this is that Toulon apparently mail ordered all the puppets, and like on the pamphlet they all have names. So like I guess if you were sending away for Mechaniker, then you would check the Mechaniker box. And I don't like they all have canon names in this, and so Torch is Kaiser.
I could be completely misremembering, but I think he was originally meant to be called Kaiser, like in Puppet Master 2, and they changed it.
Maybe. Could be.
But I like Torch
more. I don't remember for sure.
So like not counting the couple in the intro, the first kill of the movie is Torch. And this happens in this scene. It's a Jewish couple, and they're like, the lady is like, why did Jews have so much Nazi stuff? And the guy is like, oh, it's a way of saying that now your empire is just trinkets to us, and we can keep it and own it. and then Torch kills them, which is, so like right. They're holding Torch. They find, we're just gonna say Torch. We're not gonna say Kaiser. Like at this point the puppets are they start to go missing because they're all waking up because Toulon is remotely controlling them. And they pull him out from under the bed where he had hid, and there is a shot from behind their heads holding Torch, and they are so obviously dummies.
Yes.
Yeah, that particular shot was like the worst in the movie for sure.
It is, and it's a shame that they lead off with it.
Yeah, it's mind blowing as a first kill, like how shitty it looks. And I guess this must sort of go back to the issues with Torch, right? That like Full Moon ran into, that like they just can't have an open fucking flamethrower without a lot of
really
extra
cool
precautions.
Idea, hard to implement.
The thing that's
what are you gonna say?
The dummies that get torched seem like they're smaller than human sized as well. I think they
it just
did that.
lingers on it
that
too
one
long.
shot. It does, absolutely.
And
then it's such a weird contrast as well, because then the burn makeup on them in literally the next shot after it cuts away is really good.
Yeah.
So it's really strange that they decided to do that.
And
Yeah, maybe they could have trimmed it, like the length of lingering.
yeah.
I think they should've
the
just
flame
not had-
itself is even kind of limp in that part. Like he just barely
Yeah.
kind of goes, and it's like not.
Well,
and
that's
it just
what
lingers
makes
on
me
it.
think that
It's bizarre. Like I don't know.
That's what makes me think that it was done on like a smaller scale just for that shot.
Maybe. I just like the extent that the humans are like stunned and defeated by a small limp flame. It's just like it's considering the rest of the movie and the other kills in the movie, it's like really? Like this is what you went with? It's very odd. But like immediately following that, we get what I thought was the best puppet scene in the whole movie. Torch kind of like they drop Torch and they fall down and start writhing, and like Torch just does this like cool sort of like pose, and it looks really good. It's like, what was that? Well, that wasn't stop motion, was it?
That's just
I
puppet
don't
work.
think so.
It was like really good puppet work because his whole fucking body moved pretty much.
For sure. It's probably a double puppeteer situation.
Yeah, but like there's nothing else like that in the movie, I don't think. Like most of the rest of the puppet movement is just, them hopping up and down because somebody's, you can only see their upper body and they're kind of hopping. Like, am I wrong on that? I don't know.
I think there was one other scene where they're walking around, but I can't think of it offhand. I imagine what they did was double rods and like CGI'd out the rods.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of wide shots of the puppets.
It's mostly just them kind of like peeking around corners and stuff.
Yeah.
At least for the traditional puppets.
Yeah. I feel like for the most part it wasn't done in a way that was particularly distracting or anything.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun. We've seen much worse.
Oh yeah.
We've seen much worse. So yeah, the puppets just start going berserk at this point, and there are a lot of kills, very rapid fire, and let's see. Let me bring up. So one of the new puppets is this helicopter guy who looks kind of like the Iron Giant without a lower body.
Yeah, or one of the demonic toys.
Yes, he is.
He's kind
very
of demonic toy, huh?
The famous, if you've ever read anything about this movie, you have heard about the kill that this puppet does. This is the one that everybody cites and talks about. A guy is peeing in a very nasty toilet that has like poop in it. I was like,
really gross.
I was like shocked.
Hotel toilet they didn't clean.
Yeah. He gets this thing flies up and cuts his head off, and it falls into the toilet, and his corpse is peeing on his own head.
We even get a dick shot.
Yes. You even see the D. Just like, I guess at this point we could say, I mean, I already said it's very gory, but like the gore effects are good.
It's awesome.
It's like really, really well done practical gore effects. Like there's no CG gore, at least that I could tell. It looked real.
Seemed all very practical. I like gore. I don't like torture. So like something like the Hostel movies, if you remember those. I hated them. Like I never saw them, but like the torture porn stuff I don't like. But I like gore, and this is like the right level where it's like good for me.
I already did my thing. Like I don't mind gore. I don't like relish it, but like if it's fun, I don't mind it. And this kind of crosses that line. It rides that line between like fun gore and like the Evil Dead remake gore, where it's just like real. It looks painful, and I don't want these people to be getting hurt. Like
maybe this was still fun.
It's for me. It's on that line.
Can I give one really good example of fun gore?
Okay.
That part in Kamen Rider Sun, Black Sun, where was it the spider demon? He like cuts open his stomach and pulls his intestines out and chokes him out with his own intestines.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was insane, but it was also fucking cool as hell.
Yeah,
it was a tokusatsu thing.
There just has to be some like disconnect for me, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like the Puppet Master game versus what's that fucking thing called? Dead by Daylight.
Yeah,
right.
Dead by Daylight.
Where the characters are constantly just like
where they get hanged on a hook and they're just screaming in horrible pain.
Yeah. Like that's kind of like the two ends of the thing for me. But just a rapid fire series of murders. There is a drinking guy who we can assume is gay, I guess. And like,
yeah,
I feel like the movie, I wanted to talk about this. I feel like the movie kind of attempts to explain away like why a bunch of gay and Jewish and Romany and black people are specifically the ones at this Toulon convention. I don't think the Jewish couple doing the line about, the memorabilia like fully explains that away, because like the whole convention is like, everybody there is like
Nazi
people
targets.
who were victimized by Nazis, with the exception of like there's 2 German people there. Like it's just like I
also don't know that it's necessary to like call attention to it, really.
Well,
that I don't know. I feel like that could have just been entirely in the subtext.
Yeah. It could have been in the subtext,
like,
but
the whole
really
thing could have been in the subtext.
Yeah.
And all sorts of people show up to different Comic-Cons and shit.
Yeah. It was just a very specific demographic for this convention about Nazi puppets. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like,
but also I don't know how much they knew, because the woman in the Jewish couple, I don't know if they were married or not, says like she's very uncomfortable with having the puppet after learning about them.
Well, yeah, but he literally has a Nazi armband. It's like,
well, I know that. I mean, she might have just thought like, I don't know. She just didn't
learning about Toulon, I guess.
Yeah, they all have these puppets and don't know about them, so maybe the others don't even know that they were Nazis until they got there.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's
Just trying to.
So there's a drinking guy. We know Tunneler exists. We've seen a flash of Tunneler, and I was hoping the guy drinking would be tunneled, just as a callback to Puppet Master 2. But he is killed by Blade. He has a Blade who is a skeleton head Blade, which is cool, and we'd like to see that, as a skin in the game.
Instead, the callback is to Puppet Master 6, Curse, because he's a gay man in a tank top.
You're really projecting on the bully from 6.
Yeah, get it, bitch.
So
there's not much to project. I don't know.
There's a couple, presumably a lesbian couple, who one of them we thought it was going to be a callback to Kathy Bates from 2.
Would have been nice.
Yeah.
I don't feel like this scene really needed to be in the movie.
Yeah, it was really dark in a way none of the other ones were.
It was, it was neither satisfying nor resolved, and just kind of, because she's like, what are you doing, honey? You in there? And she goes in the the bathroom, and her partner is just dead in a bathtub full of blood, and like
It makes me think if they had a scene earlier, or if that scene was just a little bit longer and they had to cut it, like trim it down.
we don't get to see the kill. There's a hole in the wall that sort of implies Tunneler was involved. I thought that a puppet was going to come out of the water and kill the other lady, but that doesn't. Nothing happens.
Cool
like
shark
that.
puppet.
It's such a like.
Yeah. Instead, she like bursts in, sees blood everywhere, falls to her knees, and starts sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to you? Who did this to you? And it's just really strange and dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Odd scene. What's the next one? I don't remember.
Well, we got to talk about Cuddly Bear.
Cuddly Bear.
Yeah, I do have a picture for Cuddly Bear. Maybe the best character in the movie is the black bartender at the hotel, Cuddly Bear. He introduced like Markowitz is in the bar trying to pick up on a lady, and the bartender's like, "What can Cuddly Bear get for you?" he instantly introduces himself as Cuddly Bear, and like he's a good character. He's
great.
A cool guy.
The best thing about that scene is Markowitz like buys a drink for a lady down the bar, and it like includes a note, and then she replies on the note, "Yuck." So then Markowitz is like, "How much would it cost to put laxatives in her next drink?" And Cuddly Bear is like $750. And then goes on to explain that he doesn't like to inflict pain on anyone or hurt anyone, like upset anyone or anything like that. But his wife does want a new TV.
Yeah.
Right, he's got his priorities.
There are 4 very good characters in this movie.
Cuddly Bear has principles, but he's also got priorities.
The next... Okay. I'm not entirely sure why you jumped back there, but I just remembered what the next kill is in order, at least that I remember. We meet the new racist puppet, who I guess is, I don't think anyone refers to him in the movie, but his name on the wikis is Moneylender, a very on the nose Jewish stereotype. So everybody talks about the toilet kill. The only reason nobody talks about this kill is because it is like so fucking out of control and weird.
It's really in poor taste.
Yeah.
Insane.
This puppet. So like, okay, to set this puppet up, there are brief shots of like this puppet on stage with Blade, and you have to assume what Toulon was doing in his puppet shows is having Blade like kill this guy,
Probably,
like,
yeah.
But like he crawls out of his little box and he crawls into a pregnant woman and pulls her baby. He comes out of her chest with the baby and walks away, and it's like it's straight out of like propaganda or something.
Yep.
Like it's so nasty. It's wow. I don't know. He crawls into a pregnant woman. To reiterate to Raptor in the chat, yes. Just out of control and uncomfortable and weird, but shocking and memorable, I guess. So
yeah.
Okay, so I looked it up. The writer, at least, is a Jewish man. So at least it's like a Jewish man poking fun at his own, culture. I don't know about the directors yet, but I had to know. So, like, if you're not a Jewish person, you're writing this stuff. Like, the fuck's wrong?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Let's see. I think the next thing is we meet another Blade. There's another Blade with no arm, and he's not.
There's like 20 blades in this movie.
There's so many blades.
Right, the writer of this made Brawl in Cell Block 99 and Bone Tomahawk, which also have a lot of gore and over the top things in it, so it makes sense.
there's a guy who looks like Billy Mays having sex with a lady with big boobs, which just seems to be in the movie for the sake of it, which, you know.
I mean, it's Puppet Master.
Part of a horror movie.
They're trying to make a Puppet Master horror movie. They need to have
Yeah.
a kill that happens during sex.
So the one-armed blade just kills those two, and it's not particularly creative, or it's just a scene to have boobs.
I was really hoping it was going to be Leech Woman or Tunneler.
No Leech Woman, almost no Tunneler, almost no Pinhead, a little bit of Pinhead.
There's like 2 scenes where Pinhead's involved and 1 scene where Tunneler's involved. And everything else is various blades, including the various times you watch a hole get drilled in the wall or the ceiling, blade comes out for some reason.
Yes, like Tunneler has either a almost completely support role, or Blade also has drills. It's like never really clear.
I think he just tunnels and then Blade pops out.
Yeah, Tunneler's just like the logistics guy or something. But the next major thing is I couldn't pull like a picture of this puppet, but there is a Hitler baby doll. Just
Junior Führer?
Junior Führer. It's just a little normal baby, but also it's Hitler. Has his little Hitler haircut and mustache.
In the moment when that puppet was introduced, I thought it was the baby that Moneylender took out of the woman. I thought that he turned him into an evil puppet, or that she was somehow pregnant with an evil puppet.
Well, I do have a picture of Matthias Hughes, famous B-movie strong henchman German guy. He becomes the victim of the Junior Führer, whose thing is to crawl inside your back and grab your spine and take control of your body.
Yeah.
So Matthias Hughes is walking around for, a chunk of the movie controlled by a baby Hitler in his back. So
I'd be interested to see
if
they attempt to incorporate that into the game in some way.
I don't know how they would, unless there's a multiple humans mode.
Well, my thinking would be, if there's not a multiple humans mode, because like multiple humans would be the easiest way to do it. It's you can do that in the Evil Dead game, and it's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe the best thing in the Evil Dead game
is possessing the humans.
Possessing a human and walking away and making them waste all their ammo.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do when playing is the darkness.
Well, the thing about the Evil Dead, like, you can recover from Deadeye possession. You can't recover from Junior Führer possession.
Right. So my thinking would be, if they somehow manage to incorporate that, would be to, like, it would be really contrived, I guess. You could possess a human and just walk them away, but they can't take damage during it. You just walk them into a trap or something. I don't know. I'd like maybe make a multiple humans thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's already being planned.
This is neither here nor there, but I've always kind of wanted a horror game. Like, in all these horror games, right? The goal is like to do some weird shit. Like do some ritual or something to kill the evil. But like, what if you had a multiplayer horror game where the humans' goals was like drink a beer, have sex, like all the stuff that people do,
enjoy their life, teen partying.
Yeah, like that would be fun. Anyway, just something I always thought about.
That'd be cool, actually.
So, another beloved actor of mine shows up at this point, Michael Paré from Streets of Fire. He's So like all this shit is going down, and the police are called to investigate the puppets disappearing, but then they end up, there end up being millions of murders. What an asshole he is.
Yeah.
Like right out
dickness.
From the start, he's like a huge dick to the hero and the girlfriend. It's really odd. Like he's so antagonistic. Just like accusing the girlfriend.
For a moment, yeah, when he was accusing the girlfriend, I thought for a moment maybe we were going to learn that she was like a thief and that they knew who she was. They were going to go somewhere with that, but he's just just a dickhead.
So
did you tell her about the puppet before or after you had sex?
Yeah.
Like maybe he recognized her from arresting her before, and there was going to be deeper stuff to it, but nope, he's just an asshole.
It's just kind of like a recurring thing in this movie that everybody who isn't one of the 4 main characters is a huge asshole to the main characters. like the scene with Howie at the front desk. He's like, "Oh, you must be Markowitz. Why? Because I look like a Jew? Well, you are Markowitz, aren't you?" So it's just like, I don't know.
I wonder what was up with that character, because like he seemed like an asshole at first, and then when he later in the movie, when he goes to sacrifice himself, and he's like, "They're after me, and then he just doesn't say what he is.
Yeah. Not important.
I don't know. He never seemed like an asshole. He says that line asking if like he's Markowitz, and Markowitz says it's because I look Jewish. He doesn't say like yes or anything. I don't know. Like,
well, he does.
He's socially awkward, maybe.
Yeah.
He's meant to be like a young guy working at a hotel.
Well, I think it's specifically because he goes like, "Well, you are Markowitz, aren't you?" Well, then there's nothing to be upset about. But the way he says that is that particular line.
Sure.
Is kind of like.
And then he's sort of like a
you
goon for the rest of the movie. Like he's like fucking up with the megaphone and stuff.
He's just like a dork.
He has, I don't know. he's a character. He's a character in a horror movie. He has an arc. He goes from being a unlikable guy who you probably root for to be killed to something that isn't really revealed. So like everybody gets together and they're like, okay, let's not. The cops have control of the situation. They don't have control of the situation. They go in everybody runs into the parking lot and there's just a huge massacre scene. Most of the extra characters actually like
killed off.
A lot of people get killed here, but like it's not really a lot of people we've seen.
No.
Established. It's just a lot of people.
Our first dead kid of the franchise.
No, our second.
No, wait, second.
Yeah.
Because the Torch was the first.
Yeah.
Second dead kid.
Our second.
Yeah, but when Torch they didn't show the kids burning hands, but they did show the kids severed hands clinging.
Yeah, Cuddly Bear tries to save a kid whose mother or something has been killed by a puppet, and then like Cuddly Bear runs inside the hotel and is like, where are you? There's decapitated kid hands on my back." It's very, I don't know.
At least Cuddly Bear didn't die there.
Yeah, just a scene of chaos, and then everybody they end up in the kitchen. We find out here the puppets. I mean, this kind of makes sense, I guess, because of the occult nature of the what we know the puppets are controlled by. But like, the puppets can just detect Judaism.
Apparently,
like they just have Markowitz do a little Jewish ritual to bait the puppets, and it works. It's just like really weird. So we meet another new puppet, this little tank guy. I think I had a toy in the 80s that looked like this guy.
What was his name? Mechanicus?
Mechanicer.
Mechanic.
which is German for mechanic. They point out.
Yeah, I think I could have figured that out, Mortis.
So, just this little.
That's a line from the film.
Yes. Wheel tank guy. They.
It's kind of cool.
And it, like, for some reason, you know, like Matthias / Junior Führer has been lurking in the background of all these human gatherings. Like he chooses this point to go nuts. He grabs a pistol and shoots a couple cops, and they extract the Führer.
Yeah.
Markowitz grabs him and throws him in the oven and says, "How do you like it?"
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
That was good.
So I don't know. I don't really know.
The puppets die fairly easily in this, which was neat to see.
Yeah.
People usually don't try and fight them in the other movies, except for the woman that kills Leech Woman.
Right. There's not like a lot of. They shoot them and they smash their head and shit, and there's like a purple light sort of in them, which is kind of. It's a diametrically opposed. You know, it's different from the green light that we're used to.
Sure.
I expected there to be a scene where it's like, oh, it's still alive, you know, like we bashed something, and you know, but no, they're just dead.
Surprised they're just dead.
they beat up the puppets a little bit, and they are just dead. I think like around here roughly is where we like really see Pinhead for the first time. Pinhead, like Pinhead
punished Pinhead.
Punished Pinhead. It's basically the Pinhead we're used to, a little bit shorter neck, a little bit meaner looking. Looks sort of like Colonel Klink or something, as more of like a Nazi style influence, but he just kind of yanks a cop's arm off with his power.
Like
that. So everybody just kind of goes their own ways, you know. It doesn't.
The survivors split up.
Yeah, it's kind of like a classic horror movie, like, why are you splitting up kind of thing. Like they just decide, like, just split up and barricade yourselves in rooms and wait 2 hours for this time limit we've set for cops from the next town over, because I guess every cop in this town came. Oh,
right, and they got killed or were scared.
We should mention the hotel is called the Brass Buckle or something, which, like, as soon as I saw that, I thought there would be this thing like, oh, we used to be called the Bodega Bay, but we changed our name because of all the murders, and like we didn't want to be associated with that. But there's no like line or anything about that. But then later in the movie, they steal a truck to get away from the hotel that says Bodega Bay on it, and it's like, what? Like, what are you doing
just
here?
A reference, I guess.
Just kind of a weird half reference that doesn't seem like it got scripted all the way out. I don't know.
It's just like
I recognize Bodega Bay. It's on the truck.
Yeah.
It's just like in Mario when they put Disc Coon on the wall of the Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's not there for any reason other than for people like us to go, oh, it's Disc Coon. That's the Bodega Bay. Oh.
And there's the car wash that has the balloon fight mascot for some reason. Like,
right.
Balloon fight and car wash, they go together. So there's, I guess at this point we should say Markowitz ends up hooking up with this youngish like Asian girl.
She's pretty young.
She looks pretty young.
He notices that she's like the waitress at the bar, and he notices that she has the pin of some
Empress Asayuki.
Yeah.
They bond on an anime.
And she's like, you know Empress Asayuki? And he's like, I have all the manga and anime.
Yeah. So like our group
Is that
now,
a good anime, Slushie?
What's
not
that?
real. It's fake.
I know.
So the surviving group now is the main guy, the girlfriend, Markowitz, and the Asian girl. Don't really remember any of these characters' names, obviously.
I don't remember their names.
So they're holed up in a room, and naturally, they end up. Oh, there's a new puppet. I couldn't get a shot of this new puppet because the really good shot of it has naked boobs in it. But they, the classic horror movie. Why split up? The two guys go to investigate some Jewish screams in the hallway. And we meet the new puppet. It's like Mr. Pumper or something. It's like an old-fashioned gas pump that is just like bouncing up and down on somebody. It's like draining all their blood and spraying it out of its gas pump.
Right. Have we seen the other new puppet yet?
Well, there's two more. I think we've probably seen flashes of them.
Okay.
There's at least 3 more.
3 more?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've got on the image now. One of them is Happy Amphibian, which is a Joker frog that seems to spit poison or a needle or something. We don't really see this guy do anything. He just is. He's probably kind of Dilophosaurus inspired because they need to get him out of the Bodega Bay truck, and he's like over a corpse in there. Pretty cool guy. Not really.
I like him.
Yeah, not really super used. There's one I couldn't get a picture of, which is a sort of like praying mantis.
Yeah, the
puppet
bug
that just hops around. What's the other one you're talking about, Count?
Gopher Tunneler.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
I see him for like a second.
Yeah,
like,
I've got both the tunnelers in one picture. There's normal tunneler and there's like a variant short. It's like a cross between Pinhead and Tunneler, kind of, but also a mole.
Yeah, you can tell it's a mole because he's got long claws.
Yeah.
Well, mole Tunneler.
So Tunneler does end up. The only thing Tunneler ever does, both of the Tunnelers team up on Cuddly Bear.
Yeah.
So Cuddly Bear, is he doomed? Is he? We don't know. But the heroes end up, like, Markowitz is stabbed by a blade, of course, because who else?
Right.
I think he had a good death scene. I don't know.
I think so too. I thought it was funny.
It was, he says, write a comic about me, dedicate it to a Jewish hero. Hey, girl, would you have slept with me?
Right.
So then the heroes jump out of their window into a dumpster. The Asian girl jumps bad and dies.
It's
which
so weird.
It was that was really weird. I feel like that was supposed to like underpin like
I loved it because that would be me. Everyone would jump out and I would fucking hit my head and then that'd be it.
Well, it doesn't make any sense because the dumpster was directly in front of the window. Like, I don't understand how she got blown off.
Finds a way.
I feel like it was like, oh, what a fucked up situation. Like you got to be so desperate. Like you can even die from trying to escape the puppets. You don't have to get. I don't know. It just felt weird to have an extremely gory death in the movie that was not the result of a puppet. I don't know.
Right.
I guess it was their fault, but so the comic book guy at this point, I guess he realizes this is sort of set up during the Toulon tour. They're looking at Toulon's mausoleum and he's like, what are those spikes sticking out? Because they don't go with the architecture. Like, why are these spikes sticking out? He has made the connection that Toulon is like controlling the puppets from the mausoleum. So They drive over there. They bash into the mausoleum. And, you know, it's still just kind of a nook in the wall with rebar sticking out of the top.
Yeah.
Toulon is a zombie. He
looks really cool.
I think he looks okay. I don't know. I think he looks weird. I didn't pull a picture of him. Like the zombie makeup itself is like good, but I don't feel like it is like great in the context of this movie. Like it doesn't really evoke. He looks more like a weird forest creature.
Looks like a swamp thing.
He looks like a swamp thing or something. Like I don't know. He looks cool, but I don't think he looks cool as like a Nazi puppeteer zombie. Really? He's no what?
He's no tar man.
He's no tar man, that's for sure.
Can't beat the tar man.
So he just kind of
I agree with Mortis. It's a weird choice for him to be designed like that as a puppet master.
Yeah. Like he looks bigger than Toulon was, and he looks like bestial, and
they could have done like the Puppet Master 2 Toulon.
Yeah.
Instead.
Well, I don't know. They probably didn't want to. He kind of does look a little bit like the Puppet Master 2 Toulon once he takes the bandages off, right?
Yeah.
Because it's brown. It's just sort of brown mummy man. So he just kind of rolls out of bed and is like, "Hey, what's up? What do you?" He doesn't say anything, right? He just kind of shuffles and.
No, then he goes and grabs his gun.
He goes and grabs his gun and shoots the lady.
Which was a Luger, by the way.
It was a Luger, yeah, which Barbara Crampton also. That was really weird. There's that scene with Barbara Crampton describing shooting him, and she's like, "He pointed his gun at me. A Luger." Yes. Like, what else would it be? Yes.
This guy was a Nazi.
He brutally shoots the lady and blows her brains out, and then he just sort of walks away into the forest.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. It's really odd. Like the guy, there's like zero attempt at making the comic book guy any kind of like hero. It's like very sad for him. It's just weird. I don't know. It cuts to, a comic, like he has written a comic about the events, or he has this Madam Lightning comic about his ex-wife, and he has somehow rolled this into the Madam Lightning universe. This story, I guess, and he's like doing a signing, and this kid is like a lot of people who didn't deserve to died. Yeah, I try to reflect reality in my work, and then the kid's like, "You think you're gonna make another one?" I don't know, probably. Like I thought that was about the movie itself. Like I
think it is.
Yeah, it just seemed.
And then
like
it says to be continued, and it never was.
Yeah, not yet. We had COVID. This came out right at the start of COVID, and now it's over, thankfully. So maybe they can, maybe they can make it. I don't know. Like this is a Fangoria Presents movie. There's 4 Fangoria movies since they like created this label. They haven't done one since 2019. So I don't know. I don't know if they ran out of money. I don't know if they're in a cocoon waiting. Who knows? But SlushieCat.
We may cover VFW, which is another one of theirs, right?
Yeah, I was looking at the other 3, and VFW looks the most interesting. So could watch that. Is that on Tubi?
God, I hope so.
Littlest Reich is on Tubi, of course. It's kind of interesting that it is, because it's not a full moon movie. Like, I don't know.
No, but I don't know. Who knows what rights issues? Maybe they own it or have a deal.
Yeah, I wonder if Littlest Reich is on Full Moon's own streaming service. That would be the answer to that. But
VFW is on AMC Plus.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah.
Or you can rent it on YouTube for $3.
Yeah.
Now, does Charles Band like this one or no? Do we know?
I would assume not.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to like get Charles Band's thoughts on this because he supposedly hates gore and hates slashers and
right.
Basically what this is.
Charles, we know you're watching. We know you're listening. Please come on the podcast.
Yeah, let us know.
There is a lot of little guys, so
plenty of little guys in this.
Yeah. Do I have any images that I didn't? Not really. Looks like I put everything on the video that I pulled, but I don't know. I thought, decent horror movie. As a Puppet Master movie, it's not really what I enjoy out of Puppet Master, but it's an okay movie. I don't know.
For me, this is what I want the other Puppet Master movies to be, and they're not. So this is easily top 3 of the series for me. I still think 2 is the best one, and then the first one, and then maybe this.
Slushie?
I don't know. Not really anything else to say.
Well, did you like it? Did it live up to the hype that I kept saying?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was I legitimately thought it was the best Puppet Master movie in 2.5 decades.
If I can just say, this logo is really, really good.
Yeah,
the puppets hanging off the blood trail. It's a very good logo.
And Mortis, did you hate watching this? Because I feel like we've hated watching some of the other movies.
No, I didn't hate this by any means. I just
Okay. Now, who was the most valuable puppet?
Well, Blade, because he did every kill basically.
Well, which?
Yes, I guess
which Blade?
The series of Blades.
Yeah.
Blades was the MVP.
Blade series. It was. I don't know. Who was the most interesting? Like the Mantis guy never really.
None of them have.
The Mantis guy killed Howie. We can assume because we see Howie's corpse and the Mantis guy is getting pulled off. Oh, you know what's interesting? I was just reminded of something. There's the scene where like only one of the blade variants has the eye pokers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like very specifically the hero kind of like digs in the eyes of the one he has, and they're just empty eyes. But there is one blade that has the eye pokers, and there's a fake out scene where Markowitz is like looking at the eye pokers, and it's like, is it gonna poke him? Is it gonna poke him?
I was really hoping that they would.
And then nothing happens with that. So it's just kind of, I don't know.
There's Skull Blade, there's the Hair Blade, which our hero had, then there's Bald Blade, and then there's One-Armed Blade.
Yeah, at least 4 blades, I think. Blade series.
One of the blades had
MVP.
like a K-bar knife tip.
Yeah, that was the Skull Blade, I think. Or wait, maybe.
Oh, okay.
No,
multiple blades.
Oh, okay. Both the One-Armed Blade and the Skull Blade had sort of the K-bar. Anyway. It's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want a horror movie, it's a good horror movie. If you want a Puppet Master movie, I think there's better Puppet Master movies. But still, it's definitely interesting. It's a thing that the series has never done, and
I think it's refreshing.
May never do again.
After 6 World War II movies.
Right. I'm tired of World War II, and I'm tired of Nazis. Right. I just want little guys at this point.
Feels like such an easy formula to do, and then they just can't land it.
So what? So we have.
If you've seen Puppet Master 1 through 5, and you want to watch more Puppet Master, this would be a good to watch.
Right.
Yeah. And
then if you're really desperate, watch the one with Sarge after that, and then that's it.
I think
you got to see the whole trilogy in order, otherwise.
No, you don't.
What's going on?
It's interesting because, like, if you look at the reception of this on Wikipedia, like, this movie got a lot of press, like, which no Puppet Master ever has. You think it's the actors?
They're like real actors.
Right.
Like a real cast of people.
Like there's a fucking LA Times review on here, and like
it's either the actors or Fangoria put a lot of money into advertising.
Oh, and the writer made Bone Tomahawk. That was a pretty big movie.
Yeah.
Like with real people in it, and
like another thing from the book, since like this is a Fangoria movie, Fangoria Presents under that label, like the famous horror movie magazine Fangoria like has never liked a Puppet Master movie. They always gave Puppet Master like the limpest review, like just another toothless piece of crap from Full Moon is basically what they always said.
I mean, they're not wrong.
It's just kind of interesting that like this reboot is under the Fangoria label, and then like it just has a lot of people saw this movie, and a lot of people have opinions on this movie.
I mean, this is what brought me back to Puppet Master in a way, because like I hadn't watched any of them since I was a kid. I mean, I saw the first three.
Yeah.
Then didn't watch any of them until Littlest Reich came out. Like completely forgot about it. And then watched Littlest Reich, and then now we're doing this. So it worked.
If not for this movie, this podcast would not exist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Some would say that's a good thing, but they're wrong.
Yeah, they'd be wrong.
Well, what are we doing next week? Count, you're going to Blobfest. Wait, you're going to Blobfest the day after next week, right?
Yeah, it'll be like Saturday.
So I guess we're probably not doing the Blob next week.
No.
Do you want to just do Iron Cross and Dr. Death next week? And
I mean, we could get them out of the way. I think they're like an hour each.
Might as well, right?
But don't hold us to it, folks.
we only have 2 Puppet Masters left, unless Ernest Leechwoman comes out this week. We could get caught up. It's entirely possible.
If Blade is truly garbage, we probably won't watch Dr. Death right away.
Right. You've seen Blade, right, Count?
I tried to watch Blade.
You didn't actually sit through it?
I couldn't. It's bad.
The book kind of talked it up,
I've made it maybe 15 or 20 minutes in of an hour.
At the time of the book's publishing, it was the last book, or it was the last Puppet Master movie, so like...
We'll find out.
We'll find out. And maybe you'll find out
Season 7 of
next
Game
week.
of Thrones. We're breaking away from the book, and it's gonna be bad.
See you next week.
Was it? That went 7 seasons?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.